Good afternoon and welcome to Kirtland High School for the third of four Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. I'm Steve Hare, the Chagrin Valley Conference Sports Information Director. Today we are live from Kirtland High School. We'll have two sessions today. I do have to take a little lunch break because it's going to be a long day. We're going to kick things off right about 12:05 with the Kirtland girls basketball team, followed by Harvey boys basketball, Edgewood bowling, Kirtland boys basketball, Kirtland wrestling, Hawken wrestling, and Edgewood boys basketball. That'll be our first session, the first half of that first session, and then at 1:50 we'll have Madison girls basketball, followed by Hawken girls basketball, Jefferson swimming, Harvey girls basketball, Conneaut swimming, Wycliffe girls basketball, and then Edgewood swimming will close out our first session right there around 3:30, and then we will begin the second session at 5 o'clock. We'll have a second stream for that. That will be posted on the Chagrin Valley Conference website as well, so you can visit www.chagrinvalleyconference.com for that information. And without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off today's session with the Kirtland girls basketball team, head coach Matt Ridgway. Coach, welcome. Go ahead and grab your mic, and just for the folks at home, introduce yourself again and the girls you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Hornets this season?
Well, first of all, Steve, thanks for all that you do. I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed. Parents love it. Our community loves it, so we really appreciate everything that you've done for, us for over the last – I don't know how many years it's been now, but
it's been a while.
It's been a while, but we really appreciate it. We brought Emily Ridgway with us. She's a junior. We expect a lot out of her this year. I know she's my daughter, but as a player, she is somebody that can play all positions, and we're just excited to see her play. And we have our senior leader in Bryn Braddock, who's injured right now, but hopefully she can come back this year. We don't know quite yet. But, she's our spiritual leader, and she's just someone that we look to on the sidelines right now as just somebody who's going to be that, kid who's going to smile and have some fun. So, but as far as the season goes, we have one expectation, and that is to enjoy the experience. We don't really talk about wins. I know that's kind of odd for some people to hear, but honestly, we really don't. And it's about relationships with kids. It's about growing with each other as a team, and to be honest with you, that's really what it is. I want the kids to look back at the end of the year and say, I'm so happy that I did this. And last year, just going through, we didn't really kind of know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect at all with some new kids and new faces, and what I found is it is about relationships. And at the end, Julia Fleming's our 7th grade coach now. And I went and watched Natalie Glow play college volleyball. She's so happy that she did what she did last year. I went down to the Ohio State game 2 weeks ago with Marissa Carmesino and her family. And, we still talk to the Greenleys. It is about relationships. So what we have is a brand new team. We need to develop those relationships. And that's what we're concerned about, to be honest with you.
When you look, you mentioned the girls, Fleming, Greenlee, Glow, Carmesino. You lost some scoring. Obviously, that's one of the areas you've got to touch on. I know Emily can handle a lot of that, but who else is going to kind of step in and create some of those scoring opportunities?
Well, we had a few kids that had a little bit of experience with Christiana Kadick. She really blossomed at the end of the year. She's our inside presence, along with Emily. Emily can kind of go inside out. We had Kennedy Boyd, who's an excellent defender, and she's an ultimate competitor. We have Addie Fleming, who's Julia's younger sister, who was, got some really good time at the end of the year last year. So we're expecting those 4 juniors to be, somebody that we can rely on. But we added a few pieces, too. I mean, we have Paige Dolovecki, who can score. We have Claire Davidson, who hasn't played for a few years just because she blew her knee out the year before. And she's been a joy over the last month. She's probably I would say the biggest surprise that we have. And she's also the pit bull who is in the gym all the time. So she really wants it. But I think a little bit of it is where we are lacking a little bit of experience. But as we want to play the best basketball, we will at the end of the year. And so that's what we're kind of working towards is maybe it's going to be a little bit tougher start, but we'll rely on our defense. And as the year progresses, we get a little bit better on the offensive end.
You mentioned defense, and that's one thing Kirtland's always kind of hung its hat on, and I imagine this year's going to be a lot of the same, especially early on as you're trying to find that offensive rhythm. What are you doing defensively to kind of maintain that intense pressure Kirtland always applies?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's not really what I do. It's the attitude that we bring. We have a Lauren Pelagi, who's a sophomore. She is a fierce defender. She has to maybe understand that she only has 5 fouls, but we have a lot of those kids. Addie Fleming is a great defender. Like I said, Kennedy Boyd's a great defender. Lauren Pelagi's a great defender. We have some kids who really, really are competitive, and so we need to turn them into basketball players a little bit, and then on the offensive end, convert. Through our defense, really. Basically, our offense is going to be through our defense at the beginning of the year.
Outstanding. All right, I'll come back to you after I talk to the players. Let's move right over there to Bryn. Bryn, for the folks at home, just go ahead and introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
Hi, my name's Bryn. I'm a senior, and I'm a guard.
Senior year, I can't believe it. I think I said the same thing to you in the fall, but watching you grow up from the time you were in 5th or 6th grade, and here you are a senior. I know your dad's happy. He complains all the time. You leave your room a mess, that kind of thing. But coming into senior year basketball, obviously, it's exciting to be a senior, but at the same time, you're that much closer to the end of your career. What are you thinking in your head as you head into this final season of high school basketball?
I just want to have the most fun I've ever had. I'm just excited to play and just make new friends and just have so much fun.
Preseason, have you seen things come together the way they have had to? I mean, obviously you have some shoes to fill, some holes to fill as far as scoring, but what have you seen out of the preseason?
I think that eventually we will become a threat. I just think we're putting pieces together. It takes time, and our defense will eventually. Well, we're just gonna have to, like he said, our defense is gonna carry us through our offense, and new players that have came in have stepped up real big.
You're a senior leader. What are you doing with some of the younger girls just to kind of show them the right way to prepare and play?
I just want to show them that positive attitude is literally the biggest thing, and just cheer everyone on and have fun and make mistakes. Mistakes are good, and just have as much fun because it goes by so fast.
When you look at girls basketball, especially in the Valley Division, it's always been a competitive division. It's been Kirtland and Berkshire for a while, but Crestwood's in there. I mean, you've got so many teams. Grand Valley has a lot of girls coming back, so it's going to be a competitive conference. How do you guys prepare for that on a nightly basis where you just can't take a night off? Because if you do, I think that happened a year or two ago where you probably lost a game you probably shouldn't have, and you just have to go into each of those games knowing that you're going to be pushed and that kind of thing. But what's it going to take?
Just really, like I said, keeping up our attitude and making sure we don't get down on ourselves, and just practicing as hard as we can, because you practice how you play, and just not getting mad at each other for mistakes and keeping our relationships together. And
You told us your position, but what is your role? What is Coach looking for you to do on a nightly basis?
I think be a leader and show people that everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes, and things happen, and you just have to push through and help your teammates out and just play the best you can.
You have a ton of soccer players on the basketball team. Obviously, small schools need multi-sport athletes, but with the success that the soccer program has had over the years and the culture that team has developed, how has that kind of carried over to basketball? Do you sense that same camaraderie and belief in yourselves?
Yeah, there's different people, but I think that we're just so close. There's so many of us. We're just soccer, we had 12 seniors, we only have 5 this year, but I think that we all just blend together. We want to hang out with the juniors, we want to hang out with the sophomores, we want to hang out with the freshmen, and just just keeping everyone together.
All right, and lastly for you, just give me a breakout player, somebody on your team people don't know about right now, but after a few games, everybody will know.
I think that Paige Dolovecki is really going to help us. She's quick, she's aggressive, she has a good shot. Her time will come. It will come after practice, and I think she's going to be a really big motivator and just help her.
I know seeing her play some JV games over the years. As I got there early for some varsity games, she was always a high-effort kid, high-energy kid. So I think you might be right. So, all right, Emily, on to you. Go ahead and grab that mic. And for the folks at home, same thing. Introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
Hi, I'm Emily Ridgway. I'm a junior, and I play everything.
And it seems, I feel like you've been around forever. And I think it's just because you play so many multiple sports and you're good at all of them. So it just seems like you've been around forever. You're only going into your junior year in basketball. But how much have you grown as a player from freshman year to now? You've got 2 years of varsity experience under your belt.
Definitely just grown as a player from experience and just being around everyone, being around the seniors, especially last year, helped me grow as a player and teaching me the right things to do. And their trust in me helped a lot last year.
You've been the big for the team the last couple of years, but Christiana Cottage comes in. I think you may have an inch on her, maybe 2 inches, but how much is that going to help, just having another post player underneath that's got some height that can pull down some rebounds?
Yeah, it's just fun to have two players because I like playing the post the most, but Kim does a much better job than I do, so I'll be outside on the three-point line, hopefully.
Right, and I know you like to do that, and that's dangerous where people think, oh, she's tall, she's just going to play under the basket, but you can step back and shoot. And do you have a preference? I mean, do you like playing under the basket, doing all that dirty work, or do you like to get back there and shoot the three?
I like playing everything. I think sometimes post is a little bit more fun, but I definitely like shooting. So.
When you look at the competition in the Valley Division in particular, and Division III as a whole, how does that inspire you to work harder and play harder because you know how challenging it's going to be?
I'm just excited to play all of them because especially last year, we had very good games against Berkshire and Crestwood, and they were very exciting and fun games. So definitely practicing hard will reflect on how you play in those games.
Through the preseason, without giving away any secrets, don't tell us what your weakness is, but every team's got a weakness. How are you and the Hornets kind of minimizing yours to maybe even turn it into a strength?
Just experience, I think. We only have a couple people that have played varsity in the past couple years, so, we'll see, I guess.
All right, what kind of goals do you have for junior year, individual and team?
I just want to make it as fun as possible. I want to be positive around people around me, and I want them to enjoy being there and having fun playing and at practice and everything.
And give me your breakout player.
My breakout player is Claire Davidson. I'm really, really excited to play with her this year, so I can't wait.
I know she had I saw her play a little bit of JV too, but soccer I saw her freshman year. She had a great freshman year, and then she had the knee injury, and that kind of slowed her down a little bit, but I know she can play some basketball too. Yeah. She's one of those little water bugs, just kind of always quick and fast, so hopefully she can help the team out as well. All right, sounds good. Yeah. Coach, I'm going to head back to you just to kind of wrap things up. Always like to come back to the coaches after they hear what their players said. I mean, you're developing a culture, you're doing those things, and you kind of let off with talking about having fun and making the most of that, and I think both girls touched on that as well. So obviously the message is being received, but do you sense that the team's coming together and understanding what you expect out of them? Yeah,
in fact, we had our last 3 scrimmages without these 2 kids, so I had to go for a long walk the day that these 2 kids said basically they're out for those 3 scrimmages. And, I put it in perspective, and I was like, wait a second. This is a message saying they're going to be the best leaders that they can be on the sideline, and we're going to see who's going to really fill that role for a minute. And then we add 2 really good pieces. So it actually worked out. I didn't like it, but it worked out. We're just excited. We're really excited. We have a really good group of kids. They work really hard. They're coachable. They're down in the gym right now. If I said open shooting, they stay after. They're just a good group of kids. So we don't really talk about wins and losses. We talk about goals to win the game, and we know what those 4 goals are. But ultimately, it really comes down to, let's have a great experience. Let's play our best basketball at the end of the year. And we gotta kind of grind through this December and see where we are and see who is our top 8 kids, really, right? Top 7. Maybe we go 10. I don't know. But everyone's going to get a shot, and we're going to see how it goes.
I asked the girls for some breakout players. They also mentioned a couple of other players. You mentioned some. Is there anyone we haven't mentioned that's going to contribute?
I really honestly think Lauren Pelagi is a breakout player. She is a specimen. Like, she really is strong. She's fast. I coached her in track. She was a CVC champ. She won 4 events or 3 events in track. She was the MVP in track. She gets after it. And then we have a little freshman who can score. Little Anna Dumpstorff is a good little player. I mean, this girl can come in and she can shoot. And she's going to play at JV, but she's going to come in maybe someday. And, hopefully at the end of the year, she's playing her best. And, hey, shooters don't sit. Not very often. So
especially if they're making shots.
You can put the ball in the hole. Hey, you're going to get in. But you also got to defend, So that's going to be, when you're a freshman, you're just probably a little smaller, right? You're going to go through your lumps. So she needs to learn how to defend a little bit.
And last one for you, just keys to victory. We know what your goal, you know what your goals are. Everybody knows you've got to go out and do the little things, take care of the ball, that kind of thing. Yeah. But like you said, it's not all about wins and losses. So how are you going to define a successful season?
That's a good point. I guess, we actually won over a few. I was showing them some old games that we used to chart these games, and so there's times that you can lose and still have fun, and typically it comes down to you played an opponent that was just a little bit greater than you, and you took them to the edge, right? And so sometimes being able to show yourself that you can do it and you believe in yourself. Now, we need one of those marquee games. Last year, I thought right at the beginning was Brooklyn. We went over there and we beat them by 1. We probably weren't. Then the next day we played Richmond Heights and we took them right down to the 4th quarter, and that's when we started to believe in ourselves a little bit. And then after the year, we went 11-3. Sort of last 14 games. So we need one of those, and I think CCA, opening up with CCA, it's a tough game, right? And then we have Berkshire next Friday. I mean, so, that's going to be a really, really tough game. And then you have Crestwood away. That's a fun atmosphere.
So you get 2 of the top teams in the CVC right away.
Grand Valley. Yeah. Like, you win at Grand Valley. Anybody who, I always say, wins at Grand Valley somehow ends up has a chance to win, because it's a tough place to play. So we have some really tough games at the beginning, and we're going to have to try to fight through those and see if we can win it,
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the ladies coming out. I'm looking forward to coming out to your game on Wednesday against Cornerstone when you open up. So best of luck to you and the Hornets this year.
Hey, thank you. Take care, Steve.
All right, that was the Kirtland girls basketball team here kicking off our 3rd of 4 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. We are live from Kirtland High School. Up next, we've got the Harvey boys basketball team. And following Harvey will be the Edgewood bowling team, the Kirtland boys basketball team, Kirtland wrestling, Hawken wrestling, Edgewood boys basketball, and on and on. So we'll give Harvey a moment here to take their seats at the table. And we'll get started with the Harvey Red Raiders. Welcome back to Kirtland High School for the 3rd of 4 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. Once again, I'm Steve Hare, the CVC Sports Information Director. And all of our CVC TV broadcasts are presented by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Up next here at Kirtland, we've got the Harvey Red Raiders boys basketball team. Coach, I'm going to let you start out. Just go ahead and introduce yourself and the players you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Red Raiders this season? Flip that switch on your mic. There you go.
Thanks for having us, first and foremost. My name is Eric Monty. I am the head boys basketball coach at Harvey High School in my first year. I brought with me senior guard Mason Haffa, 3-year letter winner, and sophomore guard Armani Hall, 1-year letter winner for the Raiders. Our goal this year is to be competitive within the league. We want to play a fast brand of basketball on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. get after guys, force turnovers on the defensive end, and then play a fast brand of basketball on the offensive end, where we are constantly looking to attack the basket, stretch the floor, and get shooters opportunities.
Coming in first year as a head coach, correct?
Yes.
Were you on staff or were you new to the program?
No. So I did 8 years under Al Isofano at Perry.
Oh, okay.
I was his JV coach. Took a year off once my daughter was born. Needed a little break from hoops, but when the opportunity came open to lead this team, I had to take a stab at it. We have a lot of talent on the roster, which most of the guys are pretty young. So I feel that we have a pretty good window here over the next couple of years to compete for the league.
So coaching under Al, you obviously had a great mentor. Perry's had a very successful program. What have you learned from him that you're kind of implementing into your own program?
Just doing things the right way, trying to create a family-style atmosphere where the boys are more than just players, but treat each other like brothers. Competing every day, getting after it. Sometimes brothers kind of get into some rivalries and some battles on the practice floor, but when those things happen and those things arise, we're better for it. We're more ready, more experienced for when we have some tough games throughout the season.
Obviously, coaching changes. There's a learning curve. You're implementing some new things. How's that transition gone so far?
So far, so good. I haven't had too many bumps in the road. The guys are picking up what we want to do pretty quickly. The attention to detail has been there, and so far we're off to a good start.
All right, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk with your players. Let's start right there to your right. Mason, go ahead and grab that microphone. And for the folks at home, just go ahead and introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
I'm Mason Haffa. I'm a senior, and I play point guard.
So, Mason, coming in, obviously senior year, the last thing you want is a coaching change. But, here you are. But how's that transition gone? I mean, is it you're learning a lot and getting everything implemented that needs to be there?
Yeah, definitely. Best of luck to Coach Wojciechowski at JCU, but he came in, Coach Monty, everyone was excited. It's new atmosphere, and we're just ready to get after, and he's building the program well.
So Wojo went to JCU. I didn't know you went to John Carroll, so good for him. But, I've known Dave a long time. Did a nice job at Harvey and, creating a new era, though. You as a senior get to kind of add to a little bit of that legacy. What are you hoping to leave behind for these younger guys to remember about you?
Definitely just like my leading aspect in the game. I definitely want the young guys to learn how to be a leader themselves and step up on the floor and talk, make sure everyone's doing what they need to do during practice, and just be competitive.
You were a soccer player too, right? So you've been part of that program and its resurgence and just going out and accomplishing some great things. How can you translate the success that you had from soccer and carry that over to basketball and get your teammates to believe the same way your soccer teammates did?
Well, it all starts in practice, competition and practice. I don't think this year we don't have a set starting five yet, and I think that it could change at any moment in the year. So we just got to keep pushing each other and keep going at it.
I think that's part of the soccer team's success. There's so much talent. Guys were competing every day and just kind of raising the level of play. Do you see the same thing happening in basketball?
Definitely.
All right. Well, what's been one of the biggest challenges you guys have had to overcome as a team in the preseason, and how have you kind of managed through it?
Communication on defense. I think we're definitely starting to focus on that more right now, and just on the defensive side. Once we figure out our defense, I think we'll be a pretty solid team.
You told us your position, but what's your role? What is Coach expecting out of you on and off the court?
Being that leader. I think, soccer has taught me to be a very great leader, and I think if I can transition that into basketball, it'll help us be really good. So,
when you look at your team this year, obviously there are some new guys are going to have to step up. Give me a breakout player, somebody that right now maybe nobody knows who he is, but after a few games everybody will know.
Deontay Ware, he just attacks the basket like I've never seen before. He just goes up there. He can get rebounds for us as well. He's amazing on the defensive end. I think he'll be known soon. So.
All right. And then just last one for you is playing in the CVC. It's a tough conference, both in soccer and basketball. You know that. You've been around. How does that help you? Just kind of you just know going into a game you got to bring your best. How does that help inspire you to work harder and prepare better?
Just another thing, you practice, always making sure the guys are doing what they need to do, but preparing that's how you're going to play in the game. So as long as we prepare well, we know our opponent before we go in, so if we prepare for them well, we should do good.
Outstanding. Good luck to you this year.
Thanks.
All right, let's move down to your right. Same thing. Grab your mic, and for the folks at home, just introduce yourself. Name, grade, and position.
I'm Amani Hall, sophomore, and I play the two-way.
So Armani coming in, you're just a sophomore, so last year your first introduction to high school basketball. What did you learn last year that's going to help make you a better player this year?
I learned that varsity basketball is a very physical, sport. Hitting the weight room was key. I did a little bit this off season with playing football, and we get in a lot with basketball. So that's definitely something I'll say I learned.
What do you think is going to be the strength of this year's team, and why?
I would say our offensive, just because we all have people that can score the ball. One of our weaknesses would be defense, but once we get that down, we'll be okay.
When you look at the offense, is it a run and gun style or set plays? What are you guys trying to do to create those opportunities?
I could really say both. Like we run through our plays that coach gives us, we'll execute. If we need to get a bucket, anybody on the team can get one.
You look at the conference and just that division and as a whole, it's tough and it helps you, forces you to raise your level of play. Is that a good thing for Harvey that you have teams that are pushing you that way?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say we're more of a younger team this year, so the more us younger guys get experience, the easier the game will come.
Obviously, with a lot of young guys and a coaching transition, there's going to be some communication issues, a learning curve. How quickly do you see all that coming together?
I see it coming, pretty quickly. I think we'll be okay in the long run.
What's been the biggest challenge for you, just learning coaches' new offenses and defenses?
Honestly, it really has been a challenge. Coach Monty came in. We bonded pretty quickly. He's real good with me. The way I learn and stuff like that.
All right. Who are the players that have been impressive to you in the preseason?
I'll probably go with Neiman Booker and Chase Goins, just because Chase is explosive and Neiman's IQ is pretty good.
And then you guys both have talked about defense just kind of maybe being a little bit slower. What's causing that to kind of be a little bit slower than the offense to catch up?
Sometimes we give our offense our all, but then on defense we'll play a little sloppy. I'm one who does that. So that's one thing we'll all have to work on this year.
So that's just an effort and focus type of thing?
Yeah.
All right. What do you see as this team's ceiling? And is this a team that can make a deep postseason run? And if so, what's that going to take?
Yeah, I definitely think we could be number one in CVC this year. We have the players, we definitely have the confidence, and I think for us to go there, we just have to work every day. Push ourselves. Not take days off. And just take accountability and listen to what Coach Monty and our other coaches have to say.
All right, and just for you, obviously sophomore year, you got a lot of high school ball left, but what are you hoping to accomplish this year as an individual?
Last year I accomplished, I would say, a good amount, but this year my goal is just to, be as much of a team leader as I can, right along with Mason. I may not be a senior, but, I can have the voice as, a young leader. So that's really my goal this year.
All right, outstanding. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
Coach, back to you. I always like to go back to the coach, especially a new coach, because they get to hear what their kids had to say, and you kind of get to understand if your message is being received. Do you like what you've heard out of the kids?
Yeah. I know Armani said defense can be, I guess, considered a weakness. It's just easy things to fix. The things that we've been working on, the things that we've been honing every day at practice, communication, rotations and things like that, they've been coming along much better now than they were the first week, but they're making progress. It's promising.
Do you agree with their assessment that defense is kind of lagging behind the offense? And if so, what are you doing to kind of fix that?
Yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily say lagging, but from the very beginning when I got the job and throughout summer league and everything, the offense has been our strong suit. Not that the defense has been terribly weak or anything, but I'm not so much concerned about scoring as I am some things on the other end. But they've been receiving the message as well. Things we've been working on every single day in practice have been improving ever since, and they've been putting in the work. I'm happy with what we've seen so far.
Offensively, and I don't want you to give away secrets, but what are you trying to accomplish with the ball?
Trying to space the floor, making sure that we get out, as Armani was saying, we want to get out and push. I wouldn't necessarily say it's run and gun, but getting out and making the most of opportunities when teams give us them in transition. If we have to go in the half court, just attacking the basket constantly, and that will open up some shooters on the outside.
I asked the kids for some breakout players or kids that have impressed them in the preseason. Anyone else you want to add in there?
I would agree wholeheartedly with the selections that they made. Deontay Ware is somebody that is going to be playing the post for us a lot, someone that can score on the inside, attacks the basket well, really, really athletic, can be probably one of our top defenders. Chase Goins and Neiman Booker can both shoot. Chase being more of a slasher type, probably the most athletic guy on the team, has some crazy bounce. But those guys, I would say, are probably the ones that I'm expecting to be breakouts. And most of those guys that they said started several games last year. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're breakout players. People might already know the names, but we're expecting a lot more of them this year.
Right. And then just last one for you is how are you going to define success this year? I mean, some coaches look at, hey, we want to win a state title. It's state title or bust. Others are like, hey, 20 wins, but you don't have to have a certain number of wins or a big win at the end to consider it a successful season. So to you in your first year as a head coach, what are you looking for?
I wouldn't necessarily put a specific number on wins. Obviously, as Armani said, I think that we can compete for the league this year if we take care of some of the small things. Obviously, wanting to win as many games as possible, but if we do have a little bit of a skid, just making sure that we are seeing growth, that guys are better each day than where they started in the preseason. I think that would definitely be a measure. But like I said, I'm not going to put a specific number of games. Obviously, want to win at least a playoff game, make it, advance and then see what happens. And I think that with the way that we have the coaching staff constructed and the way that we're going to be scouting teams, I think that we could hang with pretty much anybody.
You made a really good point a moment ago, just saying that the important thing is like after a loss, you have to bounce back. You can't hang your head. How important is that to a young team, especially a young team under a new coach for the first year? I mean, those are the things that you're going to have some setbacks.
Yeah.
How important is it just kind of put that in the rearview mirror?
I think it's huge. I think that every game, no matter if you win or lose, you have to take something from it, whether it's positive or negative, learn from it and move on. And I think that especially early on, we play our first 4 games in 8 days to start the season. So I think that being able to accept criticism from when we lose, or kind of looking at things that we do well when we win, and being able to kind of build upon those throughout the season, especially like you said for a young team, is huge. And making sure that guys are open to constructive criticism and doing their best to be coachable and learn from those things is going to be key.
Outstanding. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the guys making it out here for Media Day, and best of luck to you, and especially you in your first year. Welcome to the CVC.
Appreciate it.
Well, you've been in the CVC, but welcome as a head coach now.
Thank you.
All right, that was the Harvey Red Raiders boys basketball team live here from Kirtland High School in the third of our 4 CVC Winter Sports Media Days. We will be out at Berkshire High School tomorrow to conclude our CVC Media Day event tour. Up next here at Kirtland is the Edgewood bowling team. I'm not sure if they are up there. They are. All right. Coach, any bowlers or just Coach? Okay, all right. So we'll let you take your spot at the table, and then we will get started with the Edgewood bowling team. All right, Coach, welcome. Go ahead and for the folks at home, just introduce yourself. And then just tell us, give us a little elevator pitch about your squad this year. Hold that up a little higher, and is that black switch up? There you go.
Name's Steve Nagy. I'm the head bowling coach for the boys and girls Edgewood High School bowling teams. Very new. This is our first year, a new program, so a lot of startup, a lot of new kids, a lot that haven't bowled before, a lot that have bowled with their friends before. But we're on the right track, getting them trained, proper technique and stuff like that.
So this is the first year complete, not just first year as varsity, it's first year even as club or
Edgewood as club right now.
Wow.
Yes.
How many kids did you get to come out?
We have approximately 24 kids right now.
24. That's a pretty solid number for a first year program.
Yes,
how many of them have bowled and how many are new?
I would say probably 7 or 8 have actually bowled something constructive. Probably a dozen have probably bowled with their friends, and the rest are fairly new.
When you look at, you obviously have a young team and some with a little bit of experience. What's the process of getting everybody on the same page and finding out who you're, is it 6 bowlers that you, or 5?
I believe 5 play at any time, yes.
Yeah, so what's the process of kind of fine-tuning that to determine who your top 5 are?
It is a process. I mean, going through, seeing who has, the talent to start, see who picks up on stuff that we're teaching them as we go, and just making decisions along the way there. I mean, there's nothing I want worse than to say no to a kid starting. I want everybody to have their fair opportunity. We're just going to play it by ear and see how we advance.
All right, let's take an opportunity now to mention some of those kids. Who are the ones that have played well in the preseason and kind of are working their way into that top 5?
Oh, boys, I have Jackson. I'm not going to say last names because I can't remember them all honestly, but I got
That's no
I got
problem.
Jackson, Ian, a couple of my boys that have been in my youth system on Saturdays for a little while, so I've worked with them quite a bit in the past. Girls, we got a few girls. We got Maddie, we got Kylie. I apologize if I forget anybody. It's just a lot right now. So.
It is. It's first-year program, and it's not like football or basketball where you have names and numbers that make it easy to remember. You just have to say, okay, I remember your name and face. And
correct, and that's what I'm working on right now is putting names with faces and going forward from there. So
yeah, it's like, during two-a-days they put the tape on your helmet with your name. It makes it a little bit easier to remember who you are, but I'm sure after a couple of weeks you'll know who those kids are. But
yeah,
so when you get these kids into a competition, I mean, are they multi-sport athletes? Do you have kids that have competed, or is the competition part going to be new for most of these kids?
a little bit of both. We have some that have played soccer. I'm sure we have some that are like dual sport right now. I have one or two that are in swimming as they bowl as well. Some are in basketball at the same time, so there's going to be some challenges there. Some are new to this kind of competition, so we're trying to encourage that as we go here to show them what to expect.
Bowling, at least it's not one of those sports where it's like an intense competition, so you take away some of that pressure. It's more of an individual type of thing. You're competing more against yourself than another team, so that maybe helps it a little bit, but at the same time, it's still a competition.
Right. Well, I mean, some of these competitions get pretty intense. I personally got to witness Jefferson's startup last year, and the way they competed, they came in. There was a lot of good kids there. They should be very proud of what they did last year. It was a very good startup year for them. But some of these matches get, pretty intense at times. So.
And that's pretty cool. It's not like golf or tennis. You don't see like a team scoreboard. In bowling, you kind of know, right? It's there. So,
yes.
Every time you step up to the line to roll the ball, you know what's at stake.
Yeah, you pretty much know what's on the line. And with the two different formats, you have your individual games, and then you have your Baker game where all 5 girls or boys participate in that one game. That's where it gets really interesting.
The
kids get into that, so they really do.
I just learned last week, we had our first bowling team at Media Day, and so I just learned what that Baker round really means. It has nothing to do with danishes and muffins, and it's more like best ball and golf. So I think that's kind of neat where everybody contributes to that team score that way. And
it's a very interesting format to watch for sure. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I've seen people tweeting from the state bowling tournament. I'm like, what does that mean? What's the Baker round? So I finally found out and learning a little bit more about. But we don't have bowling in the CVC yet as a conference event. But I think that's going to be coming soon as more and more of our league teams are picking it up, and then we could have a CVC bowling tournament, that kind of thing,
yes.
and we'll stream that on CVC TV. We'll just have to figure out how to do it, but I think that would be really cool. But so challenges for you as a first-year program, I'm sure there are plenty of them, but what are you doing to kind of make it as seamless as possible for these kids?
My biggest thing for our teams is just make sure they have a good time for one. I want them to have fun. I want them to learn some stuff along the way, sportsmanship, skills, bowling skills that I've been teaching them. Along that lines. So.
All right. And then just like during the season, I know like in wrestling, you could always have a wrestle off with somebody. Like if you're not in that top 5, is that how bowling works too? Is just during the practice during the week?
We'll judge it, by practice and by, performance in matches and stuff like that. The kids keep putting me on the spot, who's starting.
Right.
And I said, we haven't got there yet. I said, but we're going to be narrowing it down. And like I said, it's a tough decision to make, especially me in my first year of coaching. So it's a new road for me too. So even though I've been involved in bowling all my life, it's just this is something different. But I'm enjoying that these kids are keeping me young. So
playing it is a lot different than going out and coaching it to a bunch of kids that might not know what they're doing yet. And
yeah, it's a whole different world. It really is.
Absolutely. So when you look at the team, obviously, the sky's the limit. You don't know what they can do yet, but what do you do with the other kids that aren't in that top 5? Is there a JV? Do you have a B team?
Well, I mean, boys and girls are going to have varsity. Then we will have probably a co-ed JV team. It all depends on the other schools, how much they get to participate. Some of the schools have boys and girls teams and JV. Not all of them do.
All right, so it's good. Just another opportunity for kids at the school to come out and, if they may not be the most athletic kid and don't want to come out and play basketball, they've got an opportunity to bowl, and that's a lifelong pursuit, which is the nice part as you learn early. I wish I would have golfed in high school. It's just one of those things because I play now and I'm terrible, but had I started early at a younger age, I might not be as bad and probably wouldn't throw as many clubs in the woods, that kind of thing. But, so bowling's a great lifetime pursuit for the kids, so it's good to see so many come out, and I hope you have a ton of success. How are you going to define success this season? I mean, obviously, everyone wants to win a state title, but, as a first-year program, that might not be in the cards, but what are you looking for?
My biggest thing is the kids, like I said, the kids have a good time. We're going to go forward from there. Really, to set a goal for wins and everything like that for a first year, I don't even think that's realistic to do. We're just going to play it by ear. We're going to continue to grow every week, get better, and, let's see where the cards fall.
Oh, I want to ask you, too. I should have asked this last week with the bowling teams, but how do you coach during a match? I mean, are you able to coach the kids up during the match?
Yeah, the coach is allowed to coach the kids, but parents have to realize they're not allowed to interact with the kids during a match.
Right.
Coaches, if you see something out of sorts, you can direct the kids as to maybe where they should play it on the lane or changing balls or anything like that.
Okay, I know like with golf, same thing. Coaches can talk to their kids, but parents aren't allowed to interact, so similar type of situation.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you coming out, and great to see another school in the league adding bowling, and hopefully we'll add it as a conference sport here soon enough, but best of luck to you and the Warriors this year.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You've got it. All right. That was the Edgewood bowling team here, a new program in the CVC. So that'll be their first year out on the lanes. Up next, we've got the Kirtland boys basketball team. I'm not sure if they're here yet. Dan, do you see the boys basketball team over here anywhere? No, they're not here yet? All right. Do you have any wrestlers coming, or is it just you? Okay, we'll wait then. Yeah, if it was just you, would jump in front. But we'll give the boys basketball team a little bit of time to get here. They aren't due until 12:50, so they've got a few minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break while we've got a couple of minutes here, and we should be back with the Kirtland boys basketball team here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day, live from Kirtland High School, and presented by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. jump in. We'll start with you, and then when the guys get here, we'll go. Welcome back to Kirtland High School for the third of 4 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. I'm Steve Hare, the Chagrin Valley Conference Sports Information Director. All of our CVC TV productions are presented by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Up next here at Kirtland, we've got the Kirtland boys basketball team, head coach Sean McGregor. Coach, I'm going to let you start out. Just go ahead, introduce yourself and the players you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Hornets this season? Flip your switch up on that microphone. There you go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sean McGregor. This is Jack. My 3 captains coming into the year: Jack Green, senior, Vince Carrero, junior, and Gino Blasini, also a senior. Also a senior. I look for it to be a really successful year. We have a lot of guys that are coming back with a lot of different varsity experience. We obviously have to wait till football gets over, and hopefully everyone survives through that game, including that guy. Hopefully they survive through the game and we can get everybody rolling coming into next week. And, we started on the 13th versus a really good Cardinal team, a team that we battled for the CVC last year. So we're looking forward to that challenge. We should be deep. We were a little young last year, but, Vince at the helm, he's now in his 3rd year as a varsity player, and Gino's in his 3rd year as a varsity guy, and guys that are starting minutes coming back, that we should be a really competitive team and look to make last year at the tournament, we played a really good game against Lake Catholic at the end of the year, and I think a lot of guys were coming into stride at that point. And we're really looking to carry that success over into this year and make a good tournament run.
Football team's making its 12th appearance in the state championship game in the last 13 years. So it's been a long time since the basketball team has had those football guys in before that state championship game. How difficult does that make it? I mean, obviously you push your schedule back a little bit, and league teams are real gracious to allow that to happen. But it still forces you to play a lot of games in a short amount of time. You don't get that preseason practice that everybody else does. How does that impact the team?
It's definitely a challenge. Most teams are in their 5th week of getting after, and they've had 3 or 4 scrimmages, and we haven't had a practice. We won't have our first practice together probably until next Wednesday, a couple days before we open the season on the 13th. I will say, both of these guys come off, all 3 of these guys that are up here, 2 soccer guys that came off a really successful soccer year where they went deep into the tournament. They learn how to win. Gino's played 4 years, of football and baseball, and made deep runs in the tournament, obviously in football, and you learn how to win. So you get that competitive nature, and you can't really teach that. So when you get into the nitty-gritty of like a basketball season where you need a defensive stop or you need a big play at the end of a game, they know how to do that, and they've consistently done that throughout their career at Kirtland in whatever sport they're playing. If you look at the soccer, you see, Jack's getting significant amount of stops, Vince is getting a big goal, Gino's making a big touchdown or a big tackle, or whatever assignment or challenge that they're given, they're used to having those challenges against high-level elite talent. So, you convert that into the basketball season, we're a little rusty always coming out of the gate, but, the kids always play hard, they know how to compete, and we consistently do well throughout the year.
All right, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk to the guys. Jack, let's start with you. Grab that mic, and for the folks at home, just introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
Hey, my name is Jack Green, and I'm a senior. I play center for the Kirtland Hornets.
So, Jack, coming in, obviously, again, you don't have the full squad yet, so practices aren't quite what they're going to be in a couple of weeks. But how difficult is it to put it all together in the preseason when you don't have a big bulk of the team there?
It's definitely challenging knowing that the people that you're practicing with right now aren't going to be your teammates when you practice in the season and when you go to play your games. But it's important to focus on what you can do and working on like shooting and dribbling and all that good stuff.
Coach touched on it a little bit when he was talking about like you having a big soccer game. You're the goalkeeper, a lot of saves, Vince scoring some big goals, Gino catching touchdown passes, that kind of thing, making impact in other sports. And I think that's what Kirtland's basketball team is. It's a collection of great athletes that coach has very little time to mold into a basketball team, but it works. And, it might what you guys look like here in December is you're going to be vastly different in, late February and March. Do you as players understand that it's just like, hey, we're going to have some bumps in the road here early, but it's going to get better?
Yeah, we understand that. Obviously, we're going to be a little rusty coming out of the gate, but through hard work and showing up practice every single day, working with their teammates, building the chemistry, we know it's going to get better as the season goes on.
You told us your position, but what's your role? What's coach looking for you to go out and do on a nightly basis?
Get rebounds, score in the paint, and play good post defense.
When you look at this team, I know it's a little bit hard right now because you don't have all the football guys there, but who are the guys that are impressing you in the preseason that you think are going to have a big season?
Right now, Vince is impressing me. And then Aiden Hurd's been doing a nice job, and Wilbur's been doing pretty good too.
I'm sure you guys aren't even touching on what you want to do offensively and defensively yet because the whole squad isn't there. But what is the goal for Kirtland? What do you guys try to establish on both ends of the court?
Move the ball, get good shots up on offense, crash the boards, and on defense, play tight D and box out, get rebounds, block shots, all that.
With your size, obviously, you can impact a game in any number of ways. How does that help you just to kind of go out and compete so hard and intense on any given night?
Just try to play my hardest every single game because it could be your last, and go out there, do what I can to help the team win.
Senior year, what kind of goals do you have for yourself and your team?
I'd like to have a good record and make a good run in the playoffs as a team.
All right, sounds good. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
All right, Vince, on to you. Grab your mic, and same thing. For the folks at home, just introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
I'm Vince Carrero. I'm a junior, and I play point guard.
So, Vince, you've been around. You've got a lot of varsity experience. You've been the point guard. Everything's going to run through you. Are you ready for this year just to kind of handle the reins again?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice having 2 years of experience coming into your junior year. So, yeah, I learned a lot of things at a young age. And so, yeah, I'm ready this year.
One of the things, you play so fast. So when you're bringing the ball, whether it's offense or defense, you just play really quick. How difficult is it to kind of play at that pace, not only from a conditioning perspective, but from a technical side too? You got to be able to dribble around bodies while also reading a defense, calling the plays, looking for the open receiver or the open guy for the pass, that kind of thing.
I mean, my whole life I've been short, so I just always had to play faster than everyone else. So I'm kind of getting used to it now throughout the years, and having 2 years of varsity under your belt, the game kind of slows down more and more as you play it. So I think it's kind of like second nature to me now.
And I think that was going to be my next question, is that you now have those 2 years of experience. Is it slowing down, and how does that change the way you can play since you're starting to recognize, hey, I can play at a faster pace now?
As it slows down, you can just you can read easier, everything's second nature now. You just see everything, and you just make the play that you see, and it comes a lot quicker. I'm not as frantic and more calm now than I was 2 years ago.
A lot of point guards are just that. They're point guards. They're distributing the ball, but you do it all. You score. You're not the biggest guy on the court, but you do drive the lane a lot, and it's kind of fun to watch because you're running into these big dudes, and most of the time you're not the one bouncing off. So, I mean, you play much bigger than your size, but what drives that? I mean, what leads you to go out and do those things? You're diving for balls. You're running into bigger guys. You can step behind the three-point line and hit those shots as well.
Just love playing the game, and so it's going out every game, playing as hard as I can, knowing that you can rest after the game, so I might as well just leave everything out.
Coach has been around now for a couple of years, 3 years. Is this your fourth year at Kirtland? 6 year. Oh my gosh, it goes fast. So you've only known Coach, but how different can the offense be this year with your experience at point guard and a lot of the guys that are coming back?
I think this year we have like 4 stars returning, which is big. So probably not as many turnovers like in clutch situations or just turnovers in general, and just a lot better shot decision and moving the ball. I think everyone will be a year ahead, so they'll be a lot smarter and just better.
Give me a player on the team that maybe nobody knows right now, but after a few games, everybody will know.
I think Aiden Hurd will make a big jump this year. He played JV last year, but he's looking really good right now in the scrimmages and practice.
Jack mentioned him as well. What's he doing well?
He's playing hard, and he's scoring the ball at a pretty good rate and against good teams that we're scrimmaging, so I think he'll do good this year.
Outstanding. Good luck to you this season. All right, Gino, on to you. And before we get talking basketball, let's talk a little bit of football. That was an outstanding game Friday night. Unfortunately, I'm still on crutches, and I wasn't able to get there, but I got to watch it. That might have been the best defensive game I've seen Kirtland play in a long time, and that's saying something because every week it's a great defensive performance. How much fun was that just going out and competing against a great Garroway team and definitely coming out on top?
It's always fun, going out and watching JVs play the whole second half. It's boring. It's fun for the coaches, but it's boring for us because we want to go and play all 4 quarters and go and have fun with the boys. And our defense, our boys up front, Bates and Fort up front, and then we got McGuire and Rocco at linebacker. They're making plays. It's easy for the defensive backs.
And I don't want to talk too much about football, but this state championship game on Friday is a rematch of the 2021 game. Didn't go the Hornets' way. How much has that game kind of lit the fire under you and your older teammates that played in that game?
Oh, we're coming out ready this game. We're not going to start off slow. We're going to start off fast. Leave our foot on the gas the whole game, and hopefully come out with the victory.
See what happens. All right. So then after that game, you're going to have a couple days off. You're going to come out to basketball practice. How difficult is that transition? Because, normally most football players, they're done in week 10 or week 11, and then they can take a week off and then get in and still have 3 or 4 weeks of basketball practice. You're going to have a couple of days practice before your first game. How difficult has that been?
It's very difficult. Last year we came out, we had 4 practices before we played Cardinal, and they were really good last year. But it's just a conditioning. We're always out of breath, and we like to play. We play deep, so it's gonna be nice having the boys who've been practicing, having our back.
It's hard to believe that you bring up conditioning as a factor because you're going to play 16 weeks of football. Before that, you had, 3 or 4 weeks of practice. That's almost 20 weeks, but basketball is such a different sport, and the conditioning is different. So how long does it typically take for you to settle in and get into basketball shape?
Usually by January, I say I'm perfectly fine.
So that's 3, 4, 5 games, somewhere around there. You guys play, more. You play 3 a week, so that could be 8, 9 games. But all right. So what's your role this year? What's Coach going to look for you to do?
Play great defense, get boards, score buckets.
You guys, this might be one of the biggest teams Kirtland's had in a while. I mean, just with the 2 guys at the table, and you have a couple other that have some size too. I mean, is that going to change the way you guys play?
Hopefully we'll get more boards, pass it out to the people who can shoot, and just play great defense.
All right. Give me a breakout player. You haven't been around practice much, but you might have been around some open gyms, that kind of thing. And anybody that you're looking forward to seeing play this year?
Our quarterback, Jake Laverde. He'll be a big help on the defensive side and crashing boards.
He played a lot of JV last year, but I think he played some varsity too, right? So.
Yeah, he got some tournament run. So, he played a little bit in the tournament, which was good.
Okay, so good.
Definitely. As a sophomore, he'll be eased in nicely.
All right. Well, Gino, good luck to you on Friday and then also in the basketball season. Coach, let's wrap up with you just to kind of it's going to be tough. You know it. You've been around 6 years. I just learned today, so even though I've been here for all of them, but it goes so quick. But so you know the challenge that's ahead of you, and I think you know that your kids are used to it. They're athletic, and like I said, they're all great athletes. So your job is just molding them into a basketball team. It's easier said than done, but you've done a great job of that. What do you think the potential is for this team? Like I said, I think it's one of the biggest teams you've had. You've got a point guard that's in his 3rd year varsity experience, so you got a lot of positives going into the year.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. I really believe that. I think, like you said, we've got to, not only do we have size, but we have guys that are built well, good athletes that get up and down. They really fit the style of play that we like to do. We got to work on our shooting. We got to find a guy that's going to consistently knock down a shot. Besides, Vince does a real nice job. Gino can knock down a three after he works on it for a while. But once we get the rust off, I think, and we become solid on the perimeter, we're going to be a great defensive team. We've got length, we've got size, we've got good athletes, we've got guys that can guard multiple positions, so we don't have to, just say, we can run different guys at really good players that we play throughout the year. So I think if we can nail down our defense and we can control the glass and limit them to one shot, and the offense will take care of itself, because you play hard, you create turnovers, you get to play a little bit in space, and guys like Vince and when Gino's on and Jack is just controlling stuff on both sides of the glass. And I mean, he's come a long way as far as his post moves and just physicality inside, and I'm really looking forward to getting everybody there and just putting the pieces together and seeing what we got.
Outstanding. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the guys coming out, and best of luck to you this season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having us.
All right, that was the Kirtland boys basketball team live here from Kirtland High School at the Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day. Up next, we've got the Kirtland wrestling team here at the third of 4 CVC Winter Sports Media Days. Each and every one of them is presented by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Tomorrow we will be out at Berkshire to conclude our Media Day tour. We've got 2 sessions here at Kirtland today. The first one will end right around 3:30. The second one will start right around 5 o'clock and will take us through about 8 o'clock. So right now we've got the Kirtland wrestling team here joining us. We'll give them a moment to take their seats at the table. You got everybody there? Oh, okay. Slide over that way if you could. You're right at the edge, and with 2, it just kind of. I will make a little change here. Let's do this since there's 2 of you guys. I'll just keep you both on the screen. All right, welcome back to Kirtland High School for the Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day. Up next, we've got the Kirtland Hornets wrestling team, new head coach Dan Kissimmee. Dan, welcome. I know you're excited. We talked last night for a little preseason interview, but I know you're excited about taking over as the head coach for your former head coach, Scott Francis, who retired after
23 years.
23 years. So he was a long-time coach, been around a while. So you've got some big shoes to fill. How excited are you just to kind of kick this thing off?
Very excited. I mean, first things first, it's the guys we have, right? It's the kids we have. The kids work super hard. Their want to is awesome. They're great kids. They're great families. We have so much support from the families here. The administration has been great. It's everything we could ask for, and Scott, I've been around this sport for 23 years. My freshman year was my first year in the sport, and that was Scott's first year at Kirtland. So I've never been around the sport of wrestling without Scott Francis. So, it's a first for me as well. Scott is awesome. He was a father figure to a lot of people. And, we want to do right by him as well as our alumni and especially the kids, right? Because the kids are the ones putting in this work. So,
well, you couldn't have had a better mentor for those 23 years. Scott did a great job here, had a lot of great individual wrestlers, some great teams, and he's had a number of great assistant coaches. So he's helped develop a lot of great wrestling minds in the area, and hopefully you're the next in that long line. You're coming up from the youth program. You've also coached middle school. You've been a varsity assistant. So you've been around the program. You've been around the kids. How much has that helped you settle in as a new coach where you're not worried so much about learning who the kids are and you can focus on the wrestling part?
Yeah, I think like in all sports, the relationships are what it's all about, right? And when you have good relationship with the kids, it makes all the difference in the world. Being at all these different levels shows me a lot about what it takes to be flexible, to do this at the different levels, to coach different levels, but also what it takes to succeed at the different levels. In 2008, I was lucky enough to be on the floor as Don Sokum was in front of 20,000 people in the shot, winning his state championship match, right? So
I was on the edge of the mat, so right, I was there too.
Exactly. So, when you see something like that at the highest level, for Ohio high school wrestling, that's a big deal. You know, for middle school, you know, we've had OAC state placers. That's the highest level you could be in middle school. For youth, we've had OAC state placers. We've had league state placers. We've had all that. So, you know, we've seen it at all the levels, and you know, if you can cultivate those relationships and the pipeline gets stronger and stronger, and you keep the kids, right? That's the key. If you keep the kids, then things get really good. So
we talked yesterday, and you've got a lot of new kids, a lot of new faces in the lineup, a lot of kids that have never wrestled, some with a little bit of middle school experience. So you've got to run the gamut. You got Eddie next to you, a couple other guys with, you know, a lot of varsity experience. How are you working your practices so that new kid gets as much attention as Eddie and the guys that need to get a little more high level skill?
You know what? Then that's something we've been talking about, right? Like that's a tough one to thread the needle for, honestly. I think if you ask any wrestling coach and any high level wrestler, you're gonna work on basic things throughout your whole career. Like whether you're even if you're like at the Olympic level, you're still working on singles and setups of singles and all that stuff, right? But it's just the level that you work them and you know the different nuances to it. I think the answer to your question is that we've brought in a lot of assistant coaches who, not many of them can be full-time, but a lot of them can be part-time, and they're the ones who we're going to be leaning on to get these guys a little bit extra. For Eddie in particular, I think, you know, a kid like Noah Connor is going to be big as a partner for him. A kid like Luke Valencic, well, Luke is significantly bigger than Eddie, but I think he's another one who we're going to be leaning on heavily. So.
All right, I'll talk to Eddie, and then we'll come back to you. Eddie, go ahead. For the folks at home, just introduce yourself. Name, grade, and what position you plan to wrestle this year.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eddie Potagil. I'm a junior, and this year I'm planning on becoming captain of the wrestling team. But most importantly, I just want to be a good role model for the kids this year.
All right, so coming in, obviously you've got a new coach, but he's been a coach that's been around the program a long time. How much does that help that transition, just knowing that you already know him and he's been around? He's not changing a whole lot. It's the Kirtland way, but how much has that helped you settle in as a junior?
It's helped me a lot. I mean, over the summer we've gone to clinics and a lot of wrestling camps together, so I've gotten to know a few things that he wants to work on this year, and it's helped me out through the beginning of the wrestling season and off season.
Did you start freshman year, or did you have some middle school experience?
I started in middle school, but I started back in like 5th grade, but I took a break from wrestling, but I started back 7th grade, so I've had a couple of years of experience.
Got there, and now you're competing in the summer as well, so you realize that state championships aren't won in March, they're won in the summer and preparing for that. But how different are you as a wrestler today than you were when you started?
I've seen a big difference. I feel like all the practices that I've gone to have helped me a lot, and I see a good chance of me making it, not making it, but possibly standing on the podium for districts.
That's awesome. So that's obviously your goal, is to get on that podium, and you got a certain step in mind, or just you want to place?
I just want to place.
Well, hopefully it's in that top 4, so you get another week of wrestling out of it. But
sure.
All right, so yeah, obviously coming in, it's a younger team than you've had in the past, and you're one of the veterans now. And what are you doing to help those younger guys kind of settle in and fall in love with the sport and find their work ethic?
So what I'm trying to do is trying to get the wrestling mindset into these kids. I want to help them out by just starting off basic and just getting them easily into the sport. I know it's like difficult for these kids because it's one of the hardest sports out there. It's very like, it dogs on the kids. So I just want to show them how wrestling really is. I want to show them like, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but it's something that deals with just breaking these kids into the sport. And I know it's going to be really hard for them, but for me to show that is by showing them leadership. And I feel like I have the great way of showing leadership to these kids.
Cool. And who's your drill partners this year?
Right now, I'm seeing Noah Connor and Luke Valencic being my drill partners.
Yeah, because, you know, when you go to the state tournament, you always hear, like, here's a team, their 132 is down at the state tournament, their 138's also there, and it's because they're drill partners and they push each other all season. Are you getting that sense from your drill partners that we're all pushing each other and making each other better?
Yeah, I think so. I see that in the wrestling room.
Who are some of the younger wrestlers that have been impressive in the preseason?
So I think Noah Connor, he's been very good this offseason.
He's a freshman, right?
He's a sophomore.
Oh, he's a sophomore. Okay.
But we haven't had that many freshmen wrestle in the offseason, so the only ones I could really see were Noah Connor and Luke Valencic.
All right, and so those young kids have to learn that you got to put in the work in the summer too. Wrestling's not a 4-month sport, but all right. So you're looking to make it to the district tournament and get up on that podium. What's it going to take? Because you've been around, you've been there, and so you get into that first, second round of districts, it gets very, very challenging. What's it going to take for you to kind of make that next step?
I think it's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of sweat and blood in the wrestling room, a lot of good mindset, like machine gun mindset, as Bo Bassett always says. I always look up to that kid. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But a lot of practice and determination will get me to the district tournament.
Outstanding. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, back at you. Just to wrap things up, I asked Eddie for some of the younger wrestlers. Who are some of the guys that have impressed you in the preseason that you think might, once they get a little bit of experience under your belt, might make some noise this year?
Well, I think he was spot on, definitely with Noah Connor and Luke Valencic. I think those guys are going to do real well. We have, Jerry Zovko, he's a senior. I expect, a big jump from him. He looked way different in the practice room last year. Once he gets down to weight, I think he'll do pretty well. Otto Loshirt, he's back. He's a senior. I think, as far as our freshmen go, Preston White as well. I don't want to forget him.
There you go.
He's a sophomore. He's looking a lot improved from last year. He'll be at 106 again. But he won't be like a 20 pounds under 106 kid. So that will help immensely for him.
And that's been a problem at Kirtland over the years.
Right.
You've had like a 78-pound, 106-pounder who's very talented, but when you're giving up 20 and 30 pounds, it's tough to beat anybody.
Right. And then, Alexandria Svoboda is our first girl who has wrestled. She's doing a great job as well. This will be our first time, at the regional tournament for her. And then as far as our freshmen go, I think our freshman class looks really good. Granted, inexperience. But, you look at their work ethic, you look how they're doing at these scrimmages and stuff. I think they look really good. It's Howie Ayers and Brandon Oppenheim, Ryan Robinette, and Jackson Zahn. I think those kids have done exceptionally well. I think the future is super bright for them.
And you have many football players that are wrestling. I know Otto plays football. Anyone else that you're waiting on?
Yeah, so Chase Groen said he is going to try wrestling. It's been a struggle to get those football players. I'll tell you, it's not for lack of trying. We have support in the coaching staff as well. We just have to, I think that's one of those things that we have to grow from the ground up, right? And at the middle school level and the youth level, we do have a lot of football players who wrestle, right? So we're going to keep trying at it. That's
give it the old college try. That's all you can do. So outstanding. All right, Dan. Well, I appreciate you and Eddie coming out. Congratulations on taking over as the head coach, first one in 23 years. So good luck to you and the Hornets this season.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You do an awesome job.
Thanks, Dan. All right, that was the Kirtland Hornets wrestling team here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day. Up next, we've got the Hawken wrestling team. So they'll take their spots here at the head table, and we'll talk some Hawken wrestling. I am well. How are you guys? You as well. All right, the Hawken Hawks taking their seats here at the head table at CVC Winter Sports Media Day, live from Kirtland High School. Coach, I'll start with you. Same thing as last year. Just go ahead and flip that switch up and introduce yourself to the folks at home and the wrestlers you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Hawks in your second season on the mat with them?
Thank you. Victor Ventresca here in my second year. I brought Lucas Brandt and Will Greenberg with me, and we're anxious for the season. I think the season started about a week later this year, so we're getting into the swing of things. And both of these guys played football. Hawken did make it to the first round of the playoffs, so we were pretty happy about that as a team and a school. We're looking to pick up. We have a few new few new participants in our program, and we're just trying to shake it out to see where we're at.
It's nice to see those football players show up, guys. I appreciate that because a lot of football players just spend the winter working out in the weight room, and there's no substitute for wrestling to make you a better football player, and likewise to become a better wrestler, be a good football player. So it's great to see that. But some of the new kids you have in the program, you got a lot of veterans, a lot of newcomers. How's the makeup of the team?
Well, the makeup of the team, it's a mixed makeup. We're trying to build the program up. Traditionally, we have our first tournament, the HIT tournament. It's coming up in 2 weeks. I think it's the 55th year for that tournament. So right now, as far as young wrestlers go, through the holiday and whatnot, we think we're going to have 7 to 9 wrestlers on our team, and we'll have a better feel for it after this week.
You've been 4 or 5 the last couple of years, right? So numbers are up a little bit.
That's correct. That's correct. We lost one last. We lost 2 wrestlers actually last year. But we're trying to have some fun, making it fun. Obviously, it's a hard sport. A lot of work goes into it, and we're working our way through it.
All right, I'll follow up with you, Coach, after I talk to your wrestlers. Lucas, we'll start with you. Go ahead and grab your mic. And for the folks at home, just introduce yourself, name, grade, and what weight you plan to wrestle.
Lucas Brandt. I'm a senior. Looking somewhere in between 165 range. That's where I'm at about right now.
You've had success throughout your career in all sports, but what have you done in wrestling, and how are you going to build off of that this season?
So last year was the closest I've had to a full season. I've unfortunately had a few injuries along the way. I don't remember my exact record, but I did place 4th at the CVC tournament, which earned me first team CVC. I was unable to wrestle in the sectional due to injury. But I had a few good placement at some large tournaments that we were in last year. Looking to use that experience to help not only myself, but some of the newer guys on the team with some of my experience in wrestling at the high school level, what worked, what doesn't work, different techniques and that type of stuff to kind of help the younger guys.
You got into football a little bit late because of an injury, right? Started your season a little bit later. Are you coming into wrestling healthy?
I'm kind of still recovering. It's kind of a day-by-day type thing.
Right.
I had shoulder surgery at the end of last year. Still getting there. I wasn't able to play quarterback in football just because of that, because of my throwing shoulder. So it's getting a little better each day, and we'll see how it progresses throughout the year.
Coach, looks like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to add to what Lucas is saying. Right now, we're taking it as we're going to get him fully rehabbed. Right, he's made a college decision. And you want to announce that? Have you? Or are we still?
I'm going to be going to Williams College to play both baseball and football.
Oh, congrats.
Next fall.
All right, sounds good.
So we're looking at his wrestling career right now. He's a big asset to our team and to the school. I said to my athletic director, I said, well, I'm not sure where Lucas is going to be right now. We're going to fully rehab. And then some. I said, but can I get him as a student coach? Can I have him help the other kids? And so right now, if anything, and if his mom's listening, I'm making sure he's very well protected, Mrs. Brandt. So he's not doing more than we said he was going to do. But for now, that's where we're at. And not to put pressure on him, but we're going to hold him back a little bit and get him fully healed. He's got a wide open style in wrestling, very quick, very, very aggressive. I think you're around 16 and something last year and 5. But, as we look at his schedule and our schedule coming up, we have a lot of tournaments. So we'll be able to get him into play when the time's right.
Right. Well, and it's always great when you can use a kid like that that's got experience and knowledge and has had success to come out and help the younger kids. Do you enjoy that? I mean, what does that do for you just intrinsically, just when you're out there helping your teammates?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I think my dad is a coach at Hawken. I've been around the school my whole entire life. The Hawken wrestling program means something to me. I was told by a coach my freshman year that you should try and leave the program better than you found it. So obviously I have a full commitment to the wrestling team. I want to do whatever I can to help move the program forward.
When you see some new faces in the lineup, are they impressive kids? Are they starting to work hard and get that wrestling bug?
Yeah, I think while maybe some of them lack in experience, one thing that through the first couple weeks of practices that I've seen is that every single one of them, our practices are hard. Wrestling is not an easy sport, and every single one of them gives full effort the whole time. really immerses themselves in the new techniques, tries to learn, push themselves in conditioning, which is really all you can really ask for. I mean, wrestling is one of those sports that it just takes time for you to learn techniques and stuff, but I think with the effort and attitude of all of our new wrestlers, it's going to come a little quicker than it might for some.
I am glad that you announced your commitment a moment ago because, okay, you're going to go into college and you're going to play football and baseball, but you're also a high school wrestler. Wrestling helps football, toughness, hand fighting, balance, things like that. Baseball, it's a work ethic, and obviously in wrestling you're drilling, and developing that work ethic. How has wrestling helped shape your success in those other two sports?
I just think wrestling as a whole is obviously I played 3 sports. I've done a lot of things. I think wrestling is the hardest out of all of them. And anytime you can push yourself to do something that's really, really hard, I think it helps you grow as not only a person, but as an athlete in kind of all regards, no matter what sport it is. So the ability I've learned, I feel like more than any other sport I've played, I've learned to push through things in wrestling, which is obviously something that's really important for an athlete to be able to do.
Absolutely. All right, last one for you is just talk about some of those younger guys. Who has been impressive to you in the preseason?
Well, I'm not going to name specific names. I don't want to leave anybody out. But
I'll follow up.
But I think we do have some really good athletes, first and foremost. So things will come quicker to you when you're more athletic, obviously. It's a pretty wide range in terms of experience, but I would expect to see them having a lot of success on the mat, especially earlier in the year at the HIT tournament and some of our early on holiday tournaments.
Outstanding. All right, well, good luck to you. Not only just getting back on the mat, but I hope you get there and find a whole lot of success this year. All right, Will, on to you. Grab your mic, and for the folks at home, introduce yourself. Name, grade, and I believe you're wrestling 106.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My name is Will Greenberg. I'm a junior this year, and I'll be wrestling heavyweight.
Will, you've been you burst on the scene a couple years ago, and you've been one of those elite wrestlers there. District, two-time district qualifier, right, or once?
Yeah.
Two-time CVC champ last year, or second? Yeah,
CVC
okay.
champ.
My memory isn't quite as good, but so you won a CVC title. So you're not coming in unknown anymore. I mean, everybody knows who you are. When they step on the mat, it's going to be a battle. Yeah. Does that help you kind of raise your level of play or your intensity, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the CVC is a very competitive conference, and I'm really focused on that. And it's good to know that my opponents will always have respect for me, and I think I'm really appreciative of that. So yeah.
You come in as a junior. You're the grizzled veteran of the team. You probably have the most experience out of anybody. How have you been helping the younger kids?
Yeah, obviously Lucas has been a big help throughout this year, but we have such a wide range of experience throughout our team, and I feel like with the athletic ability we have on our team, it's pretty important for just to spend time on those kids because. If they can't get one-on-one time with the coach, if me and Lucas are helping out, I think they really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And then just who are your drill partners? I mean, Hawkins usually have like a heavyweight, and then they had some middle weights and lower weights. So for you were probably working out with the coaches most often. Do you have some guys around your weight now?
Yeah, we've had some guys come in, and we've really appreciated that. But even on days where I don't have a partner in the room, Coach Vic, he's done a really good job of giving me good workouts to do. I've got my best friend Bill. He's 88 pounds. He's a dummy. We drill a lot together.
And you're being literal. He's the takedown dummy.
Yes,
Yeah. So he's not calling a teammate a dummy. So
Yes.
for the folks at home.
Yes. And but we.
And you named him Bill.
Yep.
Is there a story behind the name?
Well, when we first my dad bought it for me, and he named her that, and I thought it was like really, really corny. So I tried to make him not say it anymore, but he just kept calling him Bill, so it just kind of stuck. Yeah.
All right. And so for you, obviously, you've had some success. You've gotten to that district level. What's going to take for you to climb that podium at the district level and earn a shot down there in Columbus?
Yeah, so obviously the last 2 years, losing the blood round 2 years in a row, I know that I can keep elevating myself, especially with how hard the district's going to be this year. But over the summer, I had a really good Fargo tournament. I really improved my my wrestling ability and my ability to take shots and not just being a typical heavyweight and being a pusher. So I'm excited to use my new skills and see where it takes me this year.
I'm excited to see him. It's been fun watching you now, and you mentioned it, like heavyweights. There's a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, and it's just trying to create some leverage, and that's why a heavyweight's really never out of a match, even regardless of the score. One false move and it changes the game. How does that change the way you wrestle? Just knowing that, hey, a 106 can slip and make a mistake, and he can get out of the bottom a lot easier than if you've got a 285-pound dude on top of you. So how does that change the way you do things?
Yeah, it's obviously it's really hard because there's a lot of really good football players out there who are pretty good at that style of wrestling. So I've really worked on my body lock series, be able to create angles with guys of that size, and I've learned over the summer especially, I started to move more on my feet, become more creating my own match of sorts, and I think the key to that is to push your pace and make it your match and not let the other guys, even though they're pushers and they want to wrestle like that, not let them take over the match like that.
All right. Well, good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. Now is your chance to talk about some of the other guys that have been impressive in the preseason. We got two of your guys here, but who else has made some noise for you early on?
Well, we've got some guys coming back, and right now we have two sophomores that wrestled for us last year, J.P. Hours and Nick Hayes. And those guys have helped elevate each other and continue to. J.P. played football this year, and Nick was in soccer. So, again, my guys are in other sports and not just completely committed to wrestling alone. So I see those guys pick up. And I told every one of my wrestlers, you're different. We're not picking up where we left off. You're a year older. You're more experienced, as we develop as humans, right? So they're different. They're different guys. And so I'm watching Nick and JP, and we kind of have. They're kind of like I call them our second set of twins, or our original set. And I'll get on to why I say that, because we have two other wrestlers this year that are actually brothers. But JP and Nick are helping push each other, and so it's good to see them pick up where they're at. They're a little bigger, a little taller. JP grew a lot, but I'm looking for them to kind of continue to fall in love with the sport and the process, and so that's good to see. I have two brothers that never wrestled before, Jonathan and Jalen Johnson. And so very athletic. And I was getting emails from them like, Coach, what's it take? I want to come out from wrestling. I never met them. So I made it a point to communicate with them and, let them know that it's a hard sport and, why do you want to be here? And I think that, finding our why is important for each one of our wrestlers, right? That's what it comes down to. And I think any athlete, particularly any young athlete, find out why you're doing it, because it gets you through the stretches that are the hard parts. Moving on to the Johnson brothers, they're brand new, but they're picking things up. We're trying to keep things simple. Our philosophy in my first week of practice last year was to take off some of the motivational things that previous coaches had left on the walls in our wrestling room and put up some blank sheets of paper. So we come up with our own teachable moments and our own process of what we're focusing on. And the first thing on our board is position, pressure, and patience. So it kind of puts everybody into a mindset of whether you're first year, second year, whether you've been doing this for a while, it still comes on to those things. You have to be in a good position. You have to put pressure on your opponent. You have to be patient with the process. So I'm looking anxious to see what those guys do. I have another freshman two freshmen that have wrestled before. Miles Hamilton is also a football player, and Miles is he's another go-getter. Kind of falls into the mold of what we already have at Hawken, so he's willing to do the extra work. He's got a great work ethic, and so that's it's good to see. Isaiah Bragg is another freshman, and I don't think Isaiah played any other sports. So, but we're going to try to get him into football or track. I think more than one sports is a wonderful opportunity for any athlete.
Absolutely, especially at the smaller schools. You help out every team. So good.
Well, it helps out every team, and it also helps you to stay under a competitive blanket. I call it that.
Yep.
You know, you want to be under some type of constant competition. You're trying to better yourself, and there's no better way to do it than in competition. And then we have another wrestler. It's a first-year Max Siegelman that's no experience again, but wants to come out for it, and has showed that through some of our early practices that though they're hard, he hasn't. Nobody left the room and didn't come back. And I took a.
It's always a good day,
right? You wonder. We had a high school coach, Don Rossitano. I did at my high school, at Mayfield High School, and one of the things I learned from him is that the first day of practice, he would say, anybody that showed up, great job, we appreciate you, but if you're not sure you want to be here, leave now, right? And we won't hold it against you. And I kind of said that jokingly to the guys. I'm just going to say what my coach said. We want you here. Nobody's on an island. We're here to support each other, and to support the program and support the team. So if anything happens, you can always go back to why am I here? To support the program. So, getting back to Lucas and Will, I look for either one of them to have a high level of high standard, that kind of falls into the other guys, right? So when you're feeling kind of like you're ready to quit, you're ready to put it down, you look at someone that's been there, and that kind of elevates the room. Absolutely. Just by that experience. And although Will said he's not going to be in a lot of pushing matches, I think he will be anyway, but we're going to keep pushing the pace.
It's the nature of the beast.
It is, right? I mean, I know he wants to get it, but I would tell my guys, work like a lightweight. Occupy a small space and own it, but, move like a lightweight.
Outstanding. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the guys coming out, and best of luck to you this year, and especially good luck to those young guys as they embark on their wrestling careers. It's not an easy sport, but it's worth it. So thank you, Coach, and good luck, guys.
Thanks for what you do for the sport. Appreciate you.
Sure thing. All right, up next, we've got the Edgewood boys basketball team, followed by Madison girls basketball. I'm not sure Edgewood has arrived yet, though, have they? I know Madison girls are here. Is Edgewood here? Just you? All right, come on up, Madison. I feel like I just saw Madison, though. I was just out at your game on whatever day that was. Was that Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday, the opener. Coach, you're going to have to be on this side of the football or else I won't see you. So everyone will have to be in between the two balls on the table. That's okay. We'll squeeze them in as long as we can see everybody. All right, Madison, there we go. We've got all 5 of you on screen. Coach, I'll start with you. Just go ahead and introduce yourself and then introduce the players you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What do you expect out of your team this year?
So my name is Heather Riho. I'm the first-year varsity coach now this year. We have Claire Wakeham, who's a senior, Zoe Delajana, she's a junior, Alyssa Snyder, she's a senior, and Sydney Sorber, and she is a senior as well. Our pitch for the year, I think, is just to play relentless. We need to put together 4 quarters. We want to play on both sides of the ball and be as tough as we can.
And you got a good look at your team on Wednesday. Great game against Chagrin Falls. You guys came from behind to win that one, 54-53. So first half of your first game as a high school head coach, you're down by like 11 or 12 there. What's going through your mind at that point?
I was walking up and down, and I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we're getting good looks. So that was our first step. We got to get a good look, and they just weren't falling that first quarter. Maybe our press was bugging us a little bit, but really momentum-wise is we just need to pick it up, and that's where grit and toughness comes into play. I looked at my assistant coaches. I was like, what do we do? What do we do? There's not much we can do. We just need to play with a little bit more energy, and we got it back in the second quarter.
And then you came out of it was 25-20 at halftime. You're trailing Chagrin Falls. You come out second half, and Zoe goes off and scores the first 6 points in like 2 minutes, and after that it was just you guys had all the momentum, and then that final minute and a half or 2 minutes, Claire took over. So you got your dynamic duo there. Sid shutting down a 2-time All-Ohioan on defense. So it all came together. I mean, were you pleased with how it all came out despite that slow start?
Yeah, I was. Like I said, we got to put together 4 quarters now. We got to find a way to start quick. To start up our energy a little bit, but Claire and Zoe, they needed to step up, and they did in the right time.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, I'll wrap up with you after I talk to the players. Let's start with Claire. Claire, go ahead, grab a mic. And for the folks at home, just introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
So I'm a senior, Claire Wakeham, and I play guard and some small forward.
So, Claire, you're outstanding soccer player as well, and I think high jumper, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-sport athlete. What's your favorite?
Basketball for sure.
All right, so coming in, how exciting was that first game?
Yeah, I mean, we were working hard the whole entire preseason, so we were excited to get out there, get after it with some competition from Chagrin Falls, so it was good.
Being a senior, you're coming in, obviously you're excited to be a senior, but at the same time, every game you play gets you closer to the end of your high school basketball career. How are you dealing with those dueling emotions?
I mean, I'm just trying to make the best of it. I've been playing with these guys since we were little, so it's been exciting to play with them, but definitely sad to see it go.
How did Wednesday's win over Chagrin Falls kind of match up with how you thought it was going to go before the game?
I mean, I think kind of replicated good what we've been doing, what we've been working on. We saw a lot of good things, some things that we need to smooth out and fix, but definitely confidence going into the season.
First half, when you're down double digits, were you ever worried? I mean, was it like, uh-oh, this one's getting away or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I know I can count on these guys, get momentum back up, and get our energy, and we'll figure out a way to get it there.
Looking at this team, especially now that you've got a game under your belt, a lot of teams just have had practice, but what do you think the ceiling is for this squad?
I think we're a very good team. I think win the CVC is definitely one of our goals, so I think we can get there if we keep working hard.
Obviously, we've got 4 of your team members here, but give me some players that aren't here that have been impressive both in the preseason and in that first game.
I'll go with Kendra Smith, who's a sophomore right now. Last year she had a bunch of time on the JV squad, and this year she's getting more varsity experience. So I think as games will go, she'll definitely shoot up confidence and do some good things for us. And then freshman Leah Brock should be a good player in the future, but definitely got a solid people coming up. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, congrats on that first win, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Zoe, on to you. Go ahead, and for the folks at home, same thing, name, grade, and position.
My name's Zoe Delajanis. I'm a junior and point guard.
So, Zoe, you came out, scored 26 points in your season opener. Is that what we can expect every night?
Yeah. I mean, I have expectations for myself and the team, and I don't know. I couldn't have done it without them, so.
You definitely sparked the team there in the start of that third quarter. What went into that, just coming out of halftime? You just caught fire real quick.
Just won the win. I don't know. Just really won the win.
A lot of the points you guys scored on Wednesday came from transition score. I mean, defensive steals. Sydney created a lot of that. Claire had a lot of steals. You had a lot of steals. How important is that to your offense, just kind of creating those easy opportunities?
Oh, yeah. That's like one of our main goals is to be strong on defense and let that transition in the offense. That's where one of our strong suits come in. And yeah.
Did Wednesday's game go the way you kind of thought it would based on the preseason?
Yeah. I mean, we could have came out a little stronger in the first quarter and even the second quarter. But, yeah, I mean, I'm glad we won. But we still have stuff to work on.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is Madison joined the CVC this year. So you guys played in the Western Reserve Conference last year, and now you're in the WRC, very tough girls basketball conference. So even when you had good teams, it was always competitive.
Yeah.
And I've covered Madison the last couple of years, so I got to see firsthand just how difficult it was for your schedule. You had some great players, but playing in that rugged schedule, it was really tough. Yeah. Coming into the CVC, you're now seeing teams that are a little bit more your size and competition level. Is that a good thing for the program?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, there are a couple tough teams in the CVC where there'll be some good competition, but we also understand there's like some teams that are still developing and they're younger, so I don't know. We just got to be ready to play versus whoever.
Obviously, you're a junior, so you've got another year of basketball left, but what are you hoping to accomplish this year that's going to help kind of give you some momentum heading into your senior season?
I think the main goal is to win the conference. I mean, I think that will carry in the next year, too. Even, like, last year's seniors that graduated, they left a mark on the program that we're hoping to carry forward. So.
You're the point guard. We just talked about the importance of the transition game to your offense, but you also run some half-court stuff, too. Yeah. How important is it to get you going into the flow of that, just to kind of make the offense go as a whole?
Yeah, it brings energy. Like, when we do our sets and they turn out the way we expect, I mean, that gives us energy, and hopefully it builds up the defense and then more transition, and yeah.
Give me a breakout player, someone on your not at the table since we're going to talk to them, but somebody you think's going to have a big year.
I have to go with Kaylee Lamarco. She's a sophomore. Her energy in practice is just really good, and her defense is always really strong. I don't know. I'm just excited to see her keep developing as the season goes on.
All right, well, good luck to you. All right, Alyssa, on to you. Same thing, name, grade, and position.
My name is Alyssa Snyder. I'm a senior, and I play forward.
So coming in, you told us your position, but what's your role on the team? What does Coach expect out of you?
There's some leadership, definitely. Leadership. Like I'm constantly trying to keep my teammates motivated and things like that.
Looking at that first game, were you pleased with how, I mean, obviously you're pleased with the win, but just the way that you guys played, a slow start, but rallied back and got the win?
Yeah, I'm pleased with how it all turned out. My teammates did excellent jobs with all their, like the roles they did with Sydney with their defense and Claire and Zoe with their, 20-point games.
Put on their capes and went to work.
So definitely pleased.
Looking at this team from your perspective, what's the strength?
I think we have strong points everywhere with our defense and our offense because, we've got players who could break a press easily and players who could shut down any girl on the court.
Coaching changes can be tough sometimes. You have to learn a lot, but Coach has been in the program. How much did that help the transition?
I think it was an easy transition. Wagner was definitely a great coach, and Riho's also going to be a great coach for us.
What's it going to take for this team to not only win the conference title but make a deep postseason run?
I believe that, there's a lot of things that we have good going for us that's going to help us, again, with our offense, and we're also a great, close-knit team, and that's going to help us all carry on throughout the season.
Give me your breakout player and why.
I'm going to have to go on Claire with Kendra. Kendra's just been, amazing working throughout the postseason, and she's just been, super hardworking throughout, getting ready for these games.
All right, well, good luck to you this season. All right, Sid, on to you. Same thing. Introduce yourself for the folks at home, name, grade, and position.
I'm Sydney Sorber. I'm a senior, and I'm a shooting guard.
Okay, you're a shooting guard, but we should put shooting guard / defensive specialist,
right,
a volleyball term, because you went out and had a great game, which honestly I think you had a bigger impact than the scorer's ever going to show. You scored 3 points, which certainly helped, but your defense and slowing down a two-time All-Ohio, what drives that? What inspires you to go out and play such tight defense?
I just think it's really my coaches and my teammates needing me to step up like that, and especially when my offense isn't there, which it wasn't that game, I put a lot of motivation towards my defense.
When you look at Wednesday's game and just the way that was going in the first half, what were you thinking at that point?
I was definitely wanting more. I wanted a lot of more show. We weren't showing up. I think we expected less of Chagrin Falls, but we definitely showed up the last 2 quarters.
And how much fun was that just down the stretch? Because it was all defense. Claire scored those 6 points to end the game, but that was all defense. It all came off of steals, and you were a big part of that. Your teammates were a big part. How much fun is that just to see your defense make so many big plays in clutch moments?
It's so fun, and it's just something that I've dealt with. I've always just been a defensive player, so yeah, it's just fun being able to rely. I can trust my teammates to score and be in those moments when I can't.
Every team has a weakness. I don't want you to tell us what yours is. I don't want you to give away any secrets. But what do you do as a team just to kind of minimize those things?
I honestly just think we just all work. We all have our own roles, and I don't even think we have a weekness because we all just balance off each other.
All right, who's your breakout player and why?
I think it's Kaylee Lamarco and Kendra Smith. They came off of just playing JV, and they're getting a lot of varsity time, and I think they have put in a lot of work, and a lot of kids don't go straight from JV to playing varsity. So those are my breakout players.
All right, well, congrats on that great game on Wednesday.
Thank
Good
you.
luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Coach, back to you just to kind of recap. I always like to go, especially for the newer coaches, that they get a chance to listen to their kids talk about, they hear their kids' perspective. Are you pleased? Is your message being received? Are you hearing what you want to hear?
Yeah, I mean, I was an athlete growing up, and you just got to know, like, climate and culture will build upon itself. And the coaches and myself are really trying to get that climate and culture to be like a close-knit family. We want them to trust us. We want to trust them, which we did, obviously, that last game, that fourth quarter, that 2 minutes. It took a lot of trust. Calling a couple timeouts, getting them in the right position. So that's what we want. We want them to trust us. We want to be a family. We want to play gritty, and we want to get after it.
Sometimes a team will never see a moment like yours faced, throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
They may just never be in that situation. You got it in the first game. What does that do for your confidence as a coach, just knowing that your girls faced a big moment and they were up for that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, even being like a first-year varsity coach, I was sweating bullets a little bit. Not going to lie, anybody would who really cares and wants to win and wants to see, her girls, like, proceed and get better. But, that moment was great. And I think it gave them a lot of confidence as well. We can be down 11 points, which I don't want to ever be down 11 points, but we can be down 11 points and still pull it out. And those rollers by Claire that last 30 seconds or whatever, 8
the last
seconds,
one with
I don't
8
know.
seconds, yeah.
I was like, oh, come on.
That thing was in slow motion, just kind of trickling around the rim.
And the energy in the gym, the supporters, Mr. Wagner was in the stands as well, and he was so excited. To just carry that out and to know that we can do it and we can pull it out even with a slow first half, it's special. These girls are really special.
How did that change practice? Did the girls come in a little more fired up the next day? Well, the next day was Turkey Day, so maybe Friday.
So here's the thing, right? The coaches and myself were talking, and we're like, all right, if we win, we'll give them Friday off. So we won. We gave them Friday off. We came in Saturday. We did a couple of drills, fundamentals, and played a little bit. But Monday and Tuesday, we're really back to work to prep for Trinity.
See, I'd give them Friday off, but then have them at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, there you go.
You had Friday off. What do you mean?
Yeah, they wanted to go shop, so hey, what can I say?
Right. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for being here. Ladies, thanks for making the trip. Congrats on that first win. That was exciting. Great first game for me to kick off my coverage. I enjoyed it, and best of luck to you this year.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, that was the Madison girls basketball team out here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day, live from Kirtland High School. Following Madison girls, it's the Hawken girls basketball team. I know we had to skip the Edgewood boys basketball team. I don't think they're here yet, are they? Do you see any? Nope. Okay, so I didn't know if someone snuck in or not. So, okay, we're getting back on schedule now that we had one team out of the loop there. So we're a little bit early, actually. Hawken girls are due at 2:05. You've got everybody, Coach? We can start?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Everyone needs a slide in between my two ball markers there. So as long as you're in between those two balls, we'll be able to see you.
More room your way, man.
All right, so Hawken, another team with a new coach. Coach, I'm going to start with you. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, introduce the ladies that you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Hawks?
Gotcha. My name is Jamie Garrick. This is my first year with the Hawken girls basketball program. I have Cami Cortad.
The challenge of a new coach. First, you have to learn all the names.
Well, I feel like I've heard her last name pronounced like a few different times, so I'm not confident anytime I've heard it. So this is the first time I'm hearing her say it, though. Sarah Lou and Sophia Cicerini. That one I made sure that one's complicated. So what to expect from us is we're a young team. We don't have a senior on the in the program. We graduated, I think, was it 6 last year you guys had? 7. So, yeah.
Big class?
Yeah, big senior class last year. Fortunately, we don't have any coming up this year, so everything that you're going to see this year, you'll get to see more of it the following year. Got a few freshmen that we're pretty excited about, as well as these 3. But, yeah, in terms of what you're going to see from us is we're going to be a pretty balanced attack. I think we're really working on our skills and building up. I think you're going to see a lot of development and progression this season. We're still going to win games. We're still going to compete. I still think that we're going to be one of the better teams in the conference. But in terms of just knowing what our roster looks like, this isn't like a one-year situation. Like, we are in a pretty nice spot where everything we do is going to be building up for an even bigger next year. So in terms of who will be offensively, we have a balanced attack. I think everyone's working on every element of the game offensively, and the defensively we're going to be pretty difficult to score on just because we're giving you a variety of different looks and really working on our pressure. But, yeah, we're going to be a tough out.
I know coaching transitions can be hard at times. How's that transition gone for you?
I think just, the only real hiccup has been that with 6-7 seniors leaving, it's been a pretty, small group in the gym at times. I mean, our preseason stuff was just about these three, and we'd see a couple people come and go. But, with that many people leaving, it's going to be a little bit of a rebuild process in terms of getting numbers back up. And we have some great energy in the gym, and we got some great prospects coming in. So I think, this year it's going to be pretty exciting in terms of what we build. But the only real challenge that I've had, I've got great commitment out of these three returning players. We've got some great freshmen that have brought awesome energy. The only hiccup has been that, there was not a lot of returning players coming back after last year. So only real issue we had with this transition.
And that presents some challenges. So, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk to the players. I'll start all the way to my left. So just for the folks at home, grab that microphone and introduce yourself, name, grade, and position.
Is it on?
Flip that black switch up. There you
Hi.
go. There you go.
I'm Cammie, and I'm a junior.
All right. And what position?
Just like anything.
Anything coach needs.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this: what's your role on the team, off and on the court? What's coach looking for you on a nightly basis?
I think I kind of do everything. I feel like I do a mix of everything. I think I do good on defense, and then also I think I am a good passer, and also create more opportunities for other people. And then I think off the court, I think I'm pretty good role model, I guess, because I think I bring a lot of energy to the team, and I always try to be encouraging and happy.
When you lose a big group of seniors like that, somebody has to step up and take on that leadership role, and leadership can be defined any number of ways. But what are you doing to be a leader for your team?
I think just because we don't have any seniors, I think most freshmen always look up to the seniors, so I think I just try to be that person for them.
All right. Without naming anyone at the table, since we're going to talk to them, give me a breakout player, somebody on your team that maybe right now nobody knows about, but pretty soon they will.
Not one of these?
Right, because we're going to talk to them. So.
Do I say their name?
Yep.
Julia, I think she's pretty good. She's a freshman, and yeah, her.
What has she been doing well in practice to impress you?
She also brings a lot of energy, and I think she's just really aggressive and is always looking to score. So I think that will definitely bring energy to our team.
All right. And what are your goals for this season, individual and team?
Team, just to go out there and try 100% every game, and then also since we don't have as many numbers, I really hope no one gets injured, because I feel
for any number of reasons we don't want people to be injured.
Because that'll be tough if there's injuries. But yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you this season. All right, let's work right to your left, and same thing for the folks at home: name, grade, and position.
I'm Sarah. I'm a junior, and I'm point guard or shooting guard.
All right. So you get the offense gets the run through you. What can we expect out of the Hawks on offense this year?
I think part of this year, I think we'll be really good from the three. I think me and Cammie really like that three ball, and I think we'll get it a lot this year. And then with Julia as one of our freshman posts, she's really aggressive and has really good footwork in the paint, which I think will be really good.
Help for some of those easy baskets there, the easier baskets, I should say. But
baskets.
none of them are easy, but a little easier when you get a rebound and can just put it back up. But all right, so the transition, how has that gone from a player's perspective? Has it been pretty smooth?
I think at first it was a little bit of a shocker, because throughout the years we've always had even my freshman year to my sophomore years we still lost 6-7 seniors, so I feel it's kind of repeating itself so I was a little used to it. So it was actually pretty smooth.
I'm just saying with the coaching change, learning new offenses and
Oh
defenses.
yeah. Oh, that's been pretty smooth.
Okay, good. All right. And then defensively, what's the plan? What do you guys like to do?
I'm actually not too sure on that. Like, I think we can kind of make that up as we go, like, depending on what team we play. I think we'll actually run a lot more zones this year just because, like, with a smaller team and sort of the tiredness that comes with a smaller team.
Absolutely. When the depth is a little bit challenged, you got to adjust. So, all right. What kind of goals do you have for this year, individual and team?
As a team, like, even though we're a little shorthanded this year, I still think we're up in the conference, like, championship run. Like, every team sort of has to deal with that, like, situation of losing their seniors and having to rebuild. And so I think we're no different from everyone else.
All right. And then just give me a breakout player and why.
So I guess in addition to Julia, I would say Austin Fitzgerald is also going to have a pretty big year since he didn't play our sophomore or last year. But I think he's made a pretty big comeback. So.
All right, and let's move on to your left. And same thing, name, grade, and position.
I'm Sophia. I'm a sophomore, and I play point guard or shooting guard.
All right, so coming in, another point guard, shooting guard combo. So with 2 point guard, shooting guards, there's only one ball. How's that going to work out?
I think it's a lot of good communication and teamwork would help us, especially with what Sarah said, with how the 3 spot's going to be our big spot. With a lot of with us as like shooting guards, a lot of movement up there can help get those open threes or even open drives.
Hawkins always had, or at least since I've been covering, somebody that's comfortable behind the 3-point line. Usually it's 1 or 2 girls, and then they've had some size underneath. Is the offense similar to that, or has it changed a little bit under new coach?
I think with who we lost and who we do still have now, I do think we still have a strong 3-point range with Sarah, Cammie, and a few of our, like Austin and a few of our new players. But I also think with what Cammie said with Julia and what Sarah also said with Julia and some of our new players that are a little taller, we do have some posts. So it's not just we have to depend on the 3, but we can also look to go in.
All right, and defensively, can you add anything to what your teammates said on what your goal is defensively?
I think defensively, my biggest goal is just make sure we have good communication and learn to work together, even with if maybe on the court we have more of a smaller team than compared to the other. I think if we have good communication, our defense can work together to kind of adapt to how other teams play their offense and stop them.
The CVC, it's a tough conference. You guys are what, in the Chagrin division?
Yeah.
So you're in there, what, West Jaga, with the change. I'm not even sure who's in there just until I see the standings for a while. But it's always been a challenging conference, and it forces you to come out and be focused and play tough every night. Is that something that helps your team just to keep you focused?
I think, like, with the strength in our conference, I think it does help us keep focused because it's not like we can just sit back and relax and be like, we're okay. We don't have to always go 100% because I think one of our main goals as a team is to always go 100% and try to like get that top, like what Sarah said, championship or top of our CVC.
All right. Who's your breakout player and why?
I agree with who they have already said with Austin and Julia, but also another freshman, Tess. She is new to Hawken, but she has very aggressive defensive playing style, and she also is a great passer. So she's another one of our bigs that we can also use down low.
All right. Well, good luck to you this season. All right, Coach, back to you just to kind of wrap things up. I always like to loop back on the coaches, especially the new ones, after they get to hear their players talk, because now you get to hear your players' perspective. In practice, usually it's you coaching, and you don't get that feedback. But are you pleased with what you've heard out of your players? Is your message being received?
Yeah, I think you could just tell from what they're excited about is the same things we're excited about. I mean, everyone being able to kind of play both ways and everyone feeling comfortable and confident shooting threes. I think that's a big part of what we want to accomplish as a coaching staff is make sure that everybody feels capable and empowered to take any shot that they want to take, play any style of offense that they want to play. So, I mean, I think we're all on board with everything that our players are saying. I think We're going to fire a lot of threes, and I think we're going to have a few freshmen that are going to be pretty impactful in their first year. And I think Austin has also been a great addition, who's also a great shooter.
And not to give away any secrets or anything like that, but what kind of changes have you made offensively and defensively just to kind of put your own stamp on the program?
I think defensively, I don't think we want to say too much. We're very versatile, and we're comfortable running a lot of different stuff. We have a few things that we are excited about, and we've thrown in some scrimmages and seen a lot of success with, so we're going to hold on to that. Offensively, we're definitely still figuring out who we're going to be, considering there is not a whole lot of varsity experience returning. But once everyone feels a little bit more confident putting the ball on the floor, once everyone feels a little bit more confident creating shots for themselves and others, I think we'll see with the spacing that we've created and sort of the framework of our offense that we'll kind of give every player their own opportunity to decide who they want to be. But we're, a group that's all capable of putting the ball on the floor. We're a group that everyone's capable of getting to the rim and hitting a three. So once everyone feels a little bit more confident, once we get a couple games under our belt, I think you'll see who we are going to be for the season and the following season.
Some teams set out to win a state title, some just a conference title. Everyone defines success differently. What's going to define success for the Hawks this year?
I think we're still going to win games. I think every game we're going to win. So I'm not going to say that we're going to win a state championship or we're going to go undefeated, but every game I think we look at the schedule and we think we're going to win it. So obviously the wins are a great measure of success. I think something that'll be successful for us is building this program. I know that, like I've already alluded to and the players have also mentioned, it's a small group. We're building numbers. We're still getting players coming out, and hopefully we drum up more interest. And I think one of the best measures of success will be in the offseason when we see who's still in the gym with us. We don't want to be in the same situation we were this past summer where it was just the four of us for much of the summer. We want to be in a better situation where everybody who's in a jersey this season, they're coming back. They're bringing some friends along with them. They're bringing more bodies into the gym. We're going to win games. I think we're all confident enough to believe that we're going to win every game on our schedule. But I think the greatest show of success that we can have is that everybody has a great season and everybody comes along next year. So, the wins and losses will be more immediate, but who we are over the summertime and who we are going into next season will be a better tell.
Outstanding. All right, Coach. Well, welcome to the CVC. And ladies, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all making the trip out for Media Day, and good luck to you this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, that was the Hawk and Hawks girls basketball team here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day. Cruising right along. Up next, we've got the Jefferson swim team, followed by the Harvey girls basketball team, Conneaut swimming, Wycliffe girls basketball, and then Edgewood swimming will close out our first session here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day, live from Kirtland High School, and presented on CVC TV by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. And as I mentioned, right now we're going to welcome in the Jefferson swimming team. Jefferson is one of the new teams to the CVC. And just make sure you're on that side of the basketball, otherwise you'll be...
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I put the balls there. Those are my ball markers. As long as you're in between those, you'll be on camera, and everybody at home will get to see you. So, all right, we've got the Jefferson swim team here. Hi, Coach. I'm going to let you start out. Just introduce yourself, the swimmers you brought with you, and then just give us an elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Falcons in the pool this year?
All right. Okay, I'm Steve Hannick, coach for Jefferson Area High School. I brought with me our senior captain, Shelby Wood. And I brought in a freshman, Lauren Hannick, who will be a good contributor for us this year.
And elevator pitch, what can we expect?
So we're really low on experience this year, but we have a great group of young swimmers coming in. So I'm not really sure what to expect out of them yet, but they're working really hard. So as long as we keep working hard, hopefully we can, make it past our sectional meet and try to get some kids into districts this year.
Did you have much success with that last year? I mean, you probably graduated some kids, but how many did you send to districts?
Last year we had two. We had a boy, senior boy swimmer, and a senior girl. Our girl went on to the states Our boys fell a little bit short in districts, but he had a great season. So.
And Jefferson joins the CVC this year, which I'm sure you know the CVC is a pretty darn good swimming conference. So that CVC meet's going to be tough, and then you're going to see a lot of those swimmers in the sectionals and the districts and down at state. How does that change your program, if at all, just knowing that you're going to be competing at that high level and in many more duels in the conference meet?
Super exciting. As a coach and a competitor, you always want your kids to compete against the best swimmers in the area, right? So joining the CVC, like you mentioned, there's some very strong teams in there that we're very familiar with, just being in the area with invitationals and whatnot. So it'll be exciting to see how some of our swimmers stack up against them, and it'll give them some goals to work for.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, I'll come back to you at the end there, but let's start right in the middle. For the folks at home, grab that microphone and introduce yourself, name, grade, and let's tell them what events you plan to compete in this year.
My name is Lauren Hanig. I'm a freshman, and my events, one of them is probably going to be the 100 fly, and the other we might kind of play around with just to see.
I don't see too many freshmen at Media Day, so obviously you've got a little bit of a talent and ability and confidence to come out and talk on camera. A lot of kids are really shy. You don't seem to be that. But how long have you been swimming?
I've been swimming since I was 5.
Competitively, not just like jumping in the backyard pool doing
Yeah.
cannonballs, things like that. Okay, so you've been around the swimming competition for a long time. So coming into the high school season, I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves, but what are you feeling as you embark on your first season?
I'm really excited just because I've heard that the atmosphere is a lot of fun, and like the experience itself is just just fun to be in, and I'm excited.
And so you mentioned the 100 fly and then maybe another, but you can swim up to 4. Do you plan to do 4 events in each meet, or is it just something you're going to pick and choose as you go?
Yeah, I think I'm going to swim 4 events for each meet.
All right. So preseason-wise, how has that gone? And are you settling in with your teammates, getting along with everybody?
It's been good. I'm starting to actually get to know everyone really, really well, and just being around everyone is it's fun.
What's going to be the biggest challenge for you this year as a freshman, and what are you doing to try and overcome that?
The biggest challenge is probably just going to be competing with everyone, because since I'm on the younger age of everyone, it's going to be harder to stay with them.
Now you're just coming up into the high school ranks, but the CVC, very tough swimming conference. You're going to see a lot of great swimmers. You're going to be on the podium in Canton. What does that help? How does that help you just to know that, hey, I've got to put in a little more work to be that competitive?
I know that it'll just make me a better person and a better swimmer, and it gives me more confidence in performance and stuff.
All right, here's a chance for you to give a shout out to some of your teammates. Who's been impressive in the preseason? And don't mention Shelby, since we're going to talk to her. Just give the people without a microphone a shout out.
Some of our girls that aren't here, a few of them I've been swimming with for a really long time, so they've helped a lot with. One of them is Sophia Park. She's always so fun and happy and just fun to be around. Another one, her name is Maddie Dilly, and she's kind of a goofball, and she's always just so positive.
I love the goofballs. Those are the great teammates. All right.
It's mood light, right?
Yeah.
And I've been around with them since I was 5, so it's just a fun experience to keep being with them and getting the chance to swim with them.
All right. What kind of goals do you have for yourself freshman year?
I have high expectations. I want to be able to put myself out there and make it up to the districts and hopefully the state meet and just continue to get better.
All right. And then coming in as a freshman, with that kind of experience, are you helping some of the younger swimmers out just with your knowledge and experience?
Yeah, I help kind of introducing and showing them what some things are supposed to look like. If they're not really familiar with it, I'll help demonstrate it or try and explain it better to them.
Becoming a leader already. I like it. All right, well, good luck to you this season. It should be an exciting one.
Thank you.
All right, and Shelby, on to you. And again, for the folks at home, just go ahead and introduce yourself, name, grade, and event you plan to compete in.
My name's Shelby Wood. Most people usually call me B. I'm a senior, and I really hope to keep going with my 50 free and I'm giving a shot with fly this year, so I'm really hoping to see where that takes me.
All right. So coming in as a senior, what kind of experience have you had, and what's your success been over the last 3 years?
I was on and off throughout like elementary school, and then I took a break during junior high, but then I came back for high school, and I've stuck with it since. And my success, I have worked up my pace to where I am now, and I've recently, over the past few years, started placing like on the podium and stuff. But unfortunately, at the end of last year, I did get a leg injury and had to step out early, but I'm happy to be back this year and hopefully to keep that success going and get higher up on that podium.
Fully healthy starting out the season?
Yep, I'm back to where I was, thank God.
Excellent. All right. So coming in senior year, you got to be excited to be a senior. Everybody is. You're getting ready to graduate, that kind of thing. But
Yep.
every time you dive in the pool, it gets you closer to the end of your career, and you've been doing it for a long time. So how are you balancing those dueling emotions?
Well, honestly, it's one of those things, like, I don't really think about it till after it happens, and then it's like, that was one of my last, like, first practices. This is going to be, like, one of my last first meets, and it's kind of weird to think about, but I'm excited for it.
It is an exciting time. And so being a senior, not only do you have to worry about yourself, but you also have to be a team leader, and how are you doing that?
I think I'm actually doing pretty good. I make sure to get to practice early. I make sure to constantly remind everybody to stretch, keep in good health, be drinking water. I'm really trying to keep my position as captain as much as I can to a good standpoint. Like, I'm trying my best to be fair, but also be stern. So
Hard but fair.
Yep.
And looking at this team, a lot of young swimmers, as Coach said. So there are going to be some challenges along the way. But how do you tell those younger kids that, hey, things didn't go well today, but today was an easy day. Tomorrow's going to be a little harder. And how are you going to get them to overcome those challenges, the ups and downs that they're going to experience?
I try my best to remind people, like, everybody has their own strengths, everybody has their own weaknesses, and it's still also the beginning of the season. So, I mean, it's not bad to put pressure on yourself, but don't put too much to the point where you're going to break down or you're going to quit, basically. I just want to keep people in mind, like, you keep yourself at a steady pace, but push yourself.
One of the favorite things I like to ask swimmers and cross-country runners, what do you guys do for team bonding? Because it seems like cross-country teams and swim teams have, like, the best ideas. So what do you guys do for team bonding and team events?
Well, we'll usually do, like, a team cheer before meets. Like, we make that up together usually. Like, us seniors will start it, and then everybody will throw in their ideas. And then every once in a while, like, especially around holidays, we'll, like, have fun practices. We do, like, themed practices almost, and then at the end of the season, we'll do a senior practice where we, like, play games, and the seniors get to decide what we do.
Fun. All right. And then just goal-wise, what are you looking to accomplish this season?
I'm hoping to really, like, especially with my 50 free, like, really push myself in my 50 free. I was so close to cutting my time last year before I had to step out, and I really want to cut it at least by, like, 5 seconds this year.
All right. Well, good luck to you as you embark on that senior year.
Yep.
All right, Coach, back to you. Talked a little bit to the girls and just kind of got their feel on the season. Had them mention some other swimmers, but who are some of the other swimmers that have caught your eye in the preseason that you kind of count on to make some noise this year?
Okay, so on the boys side, we have 3 freshmen that came in, and the one that's starting to work a lot harder is Josh Picarello. If we can keep his mind right, he'll do well for us this year. On the girls' side, man, we have 5 freshmen came in. A lot of raw talent. Emma Phillips is a girl who I have some high expectations for. Who else we have in that group? Got me on camera. And I can't
Put you on the spot, right?
Yeah. Many names going through my head, but no, it's a good young group. If we can keep them working hard and not getting discouraged, because it's easy for swimmers, especially where, we'll have some tough practices leading into a meet, and it's probably not conducive for them to get a personal best time. But they're wanting to do that every time they step in the pool, and you just can't, right? I mean, it's not possible. So keeping them focused forward on this is just a measurement of where we're at today and how we go forward to keep improving our times.
Right.
You know, it's just a benchmark, and use those throughout the season till you come up to your sectionals and district meets to where, you know, hopefully you've got them worked up to where they can achieve those goals.
Right, and you mentioned, and it's like cross country. I mean, sometimes the course is muddy, it's cold or wet, your times are off. Swimming, you're going to have faster competition next to you that might help you speed up. Sometimes it might be slower competition, and so like you said, you're not going to go out and PR every race, but the mentality has to be that I have to improve every race. And so how do you get them to understand the difference there, that it's not necessarily your time we're looking for, it's, you know, how you raced, how you swam.
That's the hardest part, because with swimmers I found, especially my older daughter, sometimes they let the emotions get the better of them in a situation. It's like, look, you know, we've done beat your butts this whole week. We know you're not going to be there, but you still swam within maybe a half a second of your personal best time. That's a win. So just trying to keep them focused, keeping them positive. Don't let them get down on themselves. It's okay to get mad if you don't accomplish what you want, but make sure it's not so bad that it turns you in the opposite direction, if you know what I mean.
Yep. All right. And then just lastly, you're in the CVC now. We talked about the competition in the CVC, but it also brings back some of those traditional rivalries Jefferson enjoyed back in the day, Geneva, Edgewood, Lakeside, that type of thing. Is that exciting to the kids?
Oh, definitely. Get back in the old kind of NEC, like you mentioned, where all our schools are close by now. All the kids know each other very well. It definitely makes for a better competitive atmosphere, you know, because everyone knows each other. So
right on. All right. Sounds good. All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you and the ladies coming out, and best of luck to the Falcons this year, and welcome to the CVC.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was the Jefferson Falcons swim team here at Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day. We are live from Kirtland High School. This is the first session of 2 today. We have the Harvey girls basketball team next, then Conneaut swimming, Wycliffe girls basketball, and then the Edgewood swim team. And then we're going to close things out for a lunch break, and then we'll be back right around 5 o'clock for session number 2. We are running a little bit early here with the Harvey Red Raiders, so I'm going to take a moment to take a quick bathroom break, because I've been at this since about 11 o'clock, and I've drank a water and a half, so I think I should probably take a quick break here, and I'll be back with the Red Raiders. Hi, guys. welcome back to Kirtland High School for the third of 4 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. I am Steve Hare, the Chagrin Valley Conference Sports Information Director. Up next here at Kirtland, we have the Harvey Red Raiders girls basketball team. Coach, welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm going to let you start out. Just introduce yourself, introduce the players you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Red Raiders this year?
First and foremost, I appreciate everything that you do for the conference. But again, my name is Jeremy Akery, fortunate and privileged enough to be the head basketball coach at Harvey High School. This is my 6th year as head coach, but I've been with the program over 10 years as a varsity assistant, head JV coach. Today, I was fortunate enough to bring 2 great student athletes with me, junior Janelle Montgomery and sophomore Haley Lewis, both who have been nominated recently as team captains by their peers and the coaching staff. As far as the overall outlook for our team, we're fortunate enough to be 1-0 as of today. Played a very scrappy Cardinal team last week. And overall, our athleticism, our intensity, our relentlessness is going to travel with us. No matter who we play, they're going to get 110% from us. Our chemistry, as I forwarded to you, is huge for us this year. The girls genuinely like being around one another, and I think that'll pay dividends for us on and off the court.
It always helps when they get along, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk to the girls, but let's start to your right there. And Janelle, right? Is that? Oh, you're Haley. Okay. So, Haley, you're going to start out. You're the sophomore. Go ahead and, for the folks at home, just introduce yourself. Name, grade, and position.
Hi, I'm Haley Lewis. I'm a point guard, and I'm a sophomore.
So coming in as a sophomore, you're elected team captain. What does that mean to you?
When I think of team captain, I think more of the word responsibility, more responsibility coming from my coach, coming from my teammates, students, and, coming from my parents, because they had a little talk with me once they found out that I was captain. But more responsibility, more so because you get more eyes looked at when you're called a captain or when you just have a title towards your name. And my responsibility to my teammates is building them up, coaching them up on the court, off the court, making sure they're not getting in trouble, making sure they're on top of everything and with their grades and on the court.
So on the court, you're the point guard, quarterback of the offense. Talk a little bit about the offense. What can we expect the Red Raiders to try and do each game? And don't give away any secrets, though. We don't want that to happen. Coach will send me nasty emails. Oh, all the teams know what we're running now, and then I'm in trouble. So, yeah, no secrets.
All right. I think we're very intense when we have the ball. And, coming from up top, it's very difficult to handle the ball and make sure you take care of the ball at all times and, not causing turnovers. But I feel like we're very scrappy and we can pick up on a lot of stuff. And also with our offense, we're just, we can score the ball. We're very intense for the boards, offensive boards. And, yeah, we're very hard. We play very hard.
And your role as a point guard, obviously, really important. Like I said, you're the quarterback of the offense. Who are some of the other players, though, that you have confidence in, that you know if you get them the ball, they're going to be able to finish or distribute and pass it on to another teammate?
Dee Crawford, she's also a sophomore. She's very aggressive, I would say, and she got way better over the years. She's been working on her left hand a lot, and I'm very proud of her because our first game where we went 1-0, I got in foul trouble, and she took over the game. She was the leading scorer for 14 points, I think. Yeah, with 14 points, and I was very proud of her. Also, we have a junior, Deanna Jackson, and she also had a quiet 13, and she also, she's still working on attacking the basket, but she shoots the ball very well.
You're in that fortunate position. You've played a game, so you have that whole preseason. You've got some scrimmages, but until you really get out on the court for a game that matters, that counts, you really don't know what you have. Well, now you have that first game. What did you learn about your team?
We can be very disciplined at points, and also that our coaching staff, like we're able to like settle down and listen to them when we really need it and we really need to. And also we know how to take care of the ball and slow down and speed up. And also like when we're like having trouble, we know how to like communicate and listen to our teammates and not just have like a nasty attitude, and just know how to tune stuff out and listen to our teammates on the court.
What is the strength of your team? Again, don't give away any secrets, but what do you think the strength of this team is, and how do you maximize that?
Our strength on the team is...
Well, not sure what that was, but that woke you up, right?
Yeah. Our strength on the team is, I would say, listening. It might be like a lot different for others, but I would say listening, because sometimes we just need to take a time out, and sometimes we get in our head a lot and it kind of messes us up. But when we just like slow down and listen, I feel like it's a power for us. And I think when we slow down and listen and we can like take stuff into consideration, like maybe my teammate is trying to help me instead of like put me down, and then that's when we can start like picking up our speed.
Sounds good. All right. Well, good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
All right, Janelle, on to you. Same thing. Grab your mic, and for the folks at home, introduce yourself. Name, grade, and position.
My name is Janelle Montgomery. I'm a small forward, and I'm a junior.
All right, so Janelle coming in, too. Another junior, underclassman, captain. What kind of an honor is that for you?
It's actually a very, 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 very big honor. Even starting young, I was very vocal, freshman coming in, playing varsity, always communicating, always going on and off, even on the court and off the court, just making sure my teammates are on the exact same page. We're all understanding the exact same thing Coach just said, re-communicating it, being a real echo. So it's a very big honor now the younger classmen, they can see like the work that you can, or things you get for working hard when you're young. Like eventually they'll see and they'll understand that.
How different is this year's team from last year? Obviously, you graduate some kids, you get some new players. Things might be, maybe some tweaks to the game plan, but how different is this team?
I don't want to say like very, very different, but it is kind of different now. I have to step up myself because we did lose two very good seniors. I think a couple more, but two seniors that were starters that scored most of the points, had the ball. I know if she has the ball, I'm okay. I can breathe. Like I'm not gonna have to like do something crazy just to help the game improve. So. But it's different. I like how different it is, though, because now I have younger girls that will know how to step up when we need to step up and continue and rush or slow down when I need to or when the team needs to.
You got a great ball handler there as a point guard. You're under the basket doing some of the dirty work, pulling down rebounds, getting some of those easy putbacks, that type of thing. How important is your role to the overall offense?
I think very important in my opinion. Just always communicating what play we're going to be in or what we have to run because there's a zone or they switched it up to this or they're back to man. Be able to communicate with my teammates so we're all on the exact same page. We all know what we can do to execute.
And then let's talk a little defense. How aggressive does Harvey like to be on defense?
Very aggressive. Maybe too aggressive at some times. We're very handsy. Like I said before, we're very scrappy, always just ready and just like a tent, ready to jump when we need to jump, ready to slide. We're just very hands-on and excited.
I asked Haley about what she learned about your team after the first game. What did you learn about your team from that first game?
That sometimes it's just you need to listen before, like she said, like listening. We just need to listen and just breathe, like because we are very fast. We love playing at fast pace. We're all running. We're all going. Like not looking back. We're just push. Sometimes we need just to slow and breathe and relax. Like we're all a team at the end of the day. We're all a family. We need to just listen to each other and calm down.
When you were out on the court, I know Cardinals just back. They didn't have a team last year, so they're really young too. So I don't imagine you probably had too many moments where there were stressful moments. But if you did, how did your team handle those?
I feel like the perfect thing is like if we're on offense or we're like rushing, and it's back on defense, we can breathe, stop, and just focus on one play at a time and be able just to freeze time and just be like, okay, we're good, we're safe, it's fine. It's just a turnover. It was just a turnover. It was just this or that. Like, take a moment, just breathe, stop.
I asked Haley about where some of the scoring is going to come from. I'll ask you about the defensive players. Who are some of the top defensive players for Harvey?
Dee Crawford, again, she's very fast on her feet, very aggressive. We could just put her on her player, and we don't have to worry about anything else. She's for sure a very good defensive player. Also, I could say Aubrielle Taylor in the paint, being very active with her hands and jumping and going and reaching, and just always being ready for the ball.
All right, and give me your goals for the year, individual and team-wise.
Our team-wise is obviously to win our CVC, have a 3.2 GPA or higher as a team together, obviously have fun and have a winning record. My personal goals is just being able to communicate with my teammates at the correct time, because not everyone is always ready to hear this or hear that. Being able to just give them time to breathe and understand what I'm actually saying, and also being able to be more aggressive offensively, because I'm very aggressive on defense, obviously, but not much on offense. So that's where I got to step up.
I particularly like that you've got quantified goals. It's not, we just want to win a lot, or that you have that set, and then the 3.2 GPA I really like. So teams that do that, they tend to create a winning culture, and they have kids that develop strong work ethics both in the classroom and on the court, and that pays off in the win column. So I like to hear that stuff. So congrats. And all right, good luck to you this year. All right, Coach, back at you. Obviously, like I said, you've got some new faces in the lineup. I don't imagine you've changed a whole lot, but what can we expect out of this team now? You got a game under your belt. I'm sure you went back, watched some film, and tweaked some things, but any changes moving forward as far as the program goes, or were you just real happy with how you played on Wednesday? Or Saturday? Did you play Wednesday or Friday?
Yeah, we played Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, okay. Couldn't remember if it was the first day or, all right.
Yep.
These holidays throw me off for a long time. So
I got you. No, overall, I think when we have a young team, we have, at this point, it's a gift and a curse. We have one senior, Alicia Franklin, who also is an integral part of our program. But, it's a gift and curse. When you have one senior, that means the future is definitely bright. But then you lose some of that leadership and that influence. So with a young team, my approach, our staff and ours approach is to, keep it simple, stupid, that acronym, which is mean you don't want to overwhelm them mentally because, as Janelle and Haley both said, we like to play fast. And what we do recognize is if we're thinking too much, we can't play fast. And so we're pretty much sticking to our guns on both sides of the floor. Part of our identity, I asked them at the beginning of the year, what is the identity of our team? No matter what, home or away, what do we bring to the table? And one thing is we look to turn that floor over to get an opportunity to get easy buckets, get to the free throw line, and then obviously be able to set up our defense, which will be multiple. Everything that you see is not always what you get with us. And so that's probably the biggest thing. We're not the biggest team, but we're relentless. As they both said, we actually own that word scrappy. And so that's we're going to take one game at a time and go from there.
Looking at challenges, every team's going to encounter something that they have to overcome. And again, no secrets or anything like that. But what are some of the things that you need to overcome this year to be successful?
I mean, honestly, it's two things, and it's no secret. I think any team, boys or girls, when it comes to basketball, is you have to take care of it, number one. And we talk about that, all the time. If we don't take care of the ball, that gives another a team opportunities to get easy buckets, and we can't afford that. And then we can't give teams, even average teams, 2 and 3 times, during an offensive possession. So we have to limit teams to one shot, which will then allow us to get out in transition. We harp on, our spacing in transition, getting that ball up the floor so we can have good opportunities at the rim.
Sounds good. And then just last one for you is define success for your team this year. Is it going to be a certain number of wins? Are you looking for a district title? What's going to define success for you?
So at the beginning of the year, during, our team shut in different practices, we asked, what are our goals? And so this isn't just a coaching thing that just we put out. And so one of our definitions of success really is just really having fun. Obviously winning makes you have a little bit more fun, but, doing some team building stuff when we can, making sure practices are intense but fun. But then also contending for a CVC championship, kudos to Perry. The road goes through them as always. But at the same time, last year, we showed some hope, especially at our lower level. JV, we take pride in our JV program, and we were fortunate enough to, come out on top even against Perry last year, within we believe will carry over to this year because, again, we're young, but we have some experience, if that makes sense. So, having fun, contesting, for a CVC title, and then we are very specific, having a winning record, so looking to have, 12 wins or more, and then hopefully that carries over to the postseason.
Again, I like those quantifiable goals. It makes it a little easier to analyze whether you were successful. But, Coach, I appreciate you coming out along with your players. Ladies, good luck to you this year, and thanks for being here.
All right, thanks for having us.
All right, that was the Harvey Red Raiders girls basketball team live from Kirtland High School here at the third of 4 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Days. Up next, we've got the Conneaut swim team, followed by the Wycliffe girls basketball team, and then the Edgewood swim team will close out this first session. We have 2 sessions today. I have to take a little lunch break because I have to eat. So we'll have a little bit of a break here right around 3:30. We'll be back in action at about 5 o'clock with the second of our 2 sessions here. But right now we've got Connie. Can I get you to get inside both of the balls? Just those are my markers there, and now you're all on camera, so let's do it. All right, the Conneaut swim team, another one of the new schools to the CVC here. Talked a lot to the Conneaut Spartans during our fall media days. I believe this is our first one of the winter, so Conneaut, welcome. Welcome to the CVC. Glad to have you here. And, Coach, I'll start with you. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, introduce the swimmers you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of the Spartans in the pool this year? And grab that mic, and there's a little black switch on there. There you go.
How's that?
That's perfect.
All right, my name's Josh Morrison. I am the head swim coach for the Conneaut Spartan swim team. This is our 7th season. Like you said, our first season was CVC, and this is my 4th season as the head coach. I brought 3 of my captains with me.
A little bit close, there you go.
3 of my captains with me. This is Andrea Speck. She's our girls swim team captain. It's Cole Sorensen. He's our boys swim team captain. And Kyler Dean, he's our co-captain for the boys team.
All right.
So right now our team size is we have 5 boys on the swim team on the high school team, and 9 girls. So there's 14 swimmers on the high school team, and we were fortunate this year. I was able to establish a middle school club. So I was trying to draw some more younger kids in and try to develop some swimmers.
That's
prior
great.
Prior to the high school
Oh,
seasons.
yeah. Give them a couple years experience before they get to the high school level. That should lead to some success later in the years, but that's great.
Correct.
All right, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk to your swimmers, and let's start right to your right. Was it Andrea? Yeah, for the folks at home, just introduce yourself again, name, grade, and tell us what events you'll compete in this year.
I'm Andrea Speck. I am a junior, and I mainly compete in backstroke and breaststroke.
Okay, so coming in, obviously a big change for Conneaut. You joined the CVC instead of whatever Pennsylvania league that was in you were in previously. The CVC, it's a really good swim conference. Is that something you're looking forward to competing in now?
I am excited. I'm excited to see like all the other schools and all the other talent around. It's it's like we're used to having this certain amount of schools. We saw a lot of the same people, and I think with this we'll see a lot more swimmers and a lot more people to like look for.
Right, and a lot of really talented swimmers. How does that help? Just when you're competing against so many good swimmers like that, is that going to kind of help you become a better swimmer?
Yeah, you can kind of pick up on some of their techniques. You can watch what they do in the water, and you can see like what they do to get better at it. You can watch their breathing, their stroke technique, and you can sometimes pick up on it, see if it's something that helps you out.
Individually, what are you looking to accomplish this year?
I think I'm just looking to hit PRs almost every meet. I don't have a specific number because I haven't been timed yet, but I'm just hoping to PR often.
That's a good goal. Just
yeah.
Keep getting better and better. All right, so give me a little rundown of some of the top swimmers on the girls' team. Give a shout-out to some of your teammates and what they've been doing well in the preseason.
I would say Meredith and Kira, they've been doing really good in fly. They've been getting really fast with fly and everything. Then Ava, she's been doing really good with freestyle and backstroke. Emma's always working on breaststroke. She's doing really good at it. Sophia's doing really good with free. So
What's
think that's
what's the biggest challenge your team has to face this year, the girls team, and what are you doing as swimmers to kind of overcome that?
I'm not really sure what I would say our biggest challenge is. I think just kind of staying on focus and everything, and just making sure we're getting better technique and everything. I think working a lot at practice and watching each other to make sure our technique is okay, and just working on everything.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck to you this year. Let's move right to your right, and I believe that was Cole. All right, Cole, for the folks at home, name, grade, and event you plan to compete in.
Okay, I'm Cole Sorensen. I'm the only senior on the team, and I plan to mainly do freestyle, but I think I'm going to be put in back two this meet.
All right, coming in senior year, obviously big change. You have a new conference, but just being a senior, you have to be excited about that. But at the same time, every time you dive in the pool, it gets you closer to the end of your career. How do you deal with those emotions where you're excited, but also, oh wow, I'm almost done?
You know, I'm still not even done with like my cross country season. I don't even know where that went. But like for swim, this is only my second year swimming, so I'm still, I guess, new, you could say. So I don't even know if I can grapple with those feelings yet.
What led you out to swimming as a junior?
They just needed people, and my friend was doing it. We both started the same year. He's younger than me, but
right.
Yeah.
And so obviously you enjoyed it to come back for the second year.
Oh, yeah.
What do you like most about swimming?
I don't know. It's just like kind of freeing, being in the water. You know, just kind of competing with yourself. Feels really good.
It's also a pretty good sport. I mean, a lot of good. It reminds me of cross country, where it's a lot of the same type of kids. You know, the really smart kids, hard workers, dedicated, committed, and so you get yourself around people like that. It tends to be a good experience. So, all right, who are some of the guy swimmers that have been impressive in the preseason?
Oh, Liam Rich, he swims all the time. Man, he's just swimming all the time. And Logan Knight is who I joined swim with. He was one of my friends. Kyler Dean, of course, and me. And our last boy member, we only have 5, is Mitchell McBride. He's new this year, and I think he has a lot of potential.
All right, so with five swimmers, it means each one has to do a whole lot of events and try and score those points. So
that's probably what we're going to struggle with the most, is just we only have 5 people. Spread pretty thin.
Yeah. So there, it's not so much looking for team success, but individual success. What are you hoping to accomplish this year?
I hope to break 28 in the 50 free. I think I was close. I think I was like 29s last year. So.
Yeah. So that to cut off almost a minute of time in cross country, it's one thing. To do it in the pool, it's another. So how are you going to trim that time off of your PR?
Better technique. Like last year, I mean, like I was just swimming. I don't know. Now I can really dive into what makes it a good swim,
Yeah. So I get the sense you're saying last year you were kind of new and were, like a puppy that falls in the water, just kind of splashing around. This year you're leaning a little more on technique. How did you develop that? Is it just experience?
Experience. We also have really good coaches that can really help us, and watching YouTube videos that really helps. I mean, I don't know.
That's where I learn everything. It works out well. I don't know if I'd trust YouTube to teach me how to swim, but I sink to the bottom quite a bit, so I don't think I'd rely on YouTube. But for technique, if you already know how to swim, I guess that'll work out well. So, all right. Well, good luck to you this year. Let's go to your right. And was it Kyler?
Yeah.
Okay. Kyler, go ahead. For the folks at home, name, grade, and what events you plan to compete in.
My name's Kyler Dean. I'm a junior in high school, and this year I want to focus a lot on fly. I want to get my fly to be really good. I'm starting to get there with freestyle. Definitely still can get faster with it, but in all the past through my freshman and sophomore year, I pretty much just worked on freestyle, just focused on one stroke. But I want to definitely branch out a little bit this year and focus on fly too a lot.
Did you start swimming competitively in high school, or did you have experience beforehand?
So I swam at the Y like a very short period of time when I was a little bit younger, but other than that, I really had no experience before my freshman year. But,
and just coming in as a freshman to now, how much have you grown as a swimmer?
Oh, so much. You should have seen me the day that I got that pool freshman year. All the coaches got a little scared, but I've definitely made a lot of progress to get to now.
Cool. What do you like most about swimming? Is it the actual competition, practices, the camaraderie you build with your teammates? What do you like?
I like kind of the individualness of it. it's not. It's definitely a team sport in a way, but it's also you focusing on yourself and bettering yourself. Because obviously you have a workout at practice and you have the things that you're required to do, but how hard you want to go at it is up to you. And if you want to get better, that's up to you. And you're really just bettering yourself through it. There's really nobody to hold you down.
A question I always like to ask cross country and swim teams is, what do you do for team bonding? Because those two sports tend to have the coolest ideas. What do you guys do that's unique?
We do team dinners very often, before usually every meet on the Friday before, or depending on what day it is. If it's Friday meet, it'll be the Thursday before. We'll have a team dinner. I think we're having it at a church this Friday. We're having a team dinner. But really, those are fun. They're great. We eat pasta a lot of the time, and I'll talk and hang out together before the meet, load up on some carbs before the meet. But they're great. Those are fun. That's how we do our team bonding, really.
Shave the head, come sectionals.
This is the longest my hair's ever been, and I'm kind of scared to go short again, so I don't know.
It's always an interesting experience when you see all the kids, they shave their head and dye it blonde and come popping around. So it's always the fun time of year. You know when it's time for sectional swimming.
Yeah.
So good. All right, what are your goals for this year?
Break time on freestyle, pretty much same as Cole. I want to break 28, get under there. I want to get good at fly. I've been really trying to focus on that. It's such a hard stroke because getting long distance on fly is harder than any other stroke. Like, doing more than a 50 is a struggle for me, which I want to make it not like that. I want to be able to do 150, 200 fly like it's kind of light work by the end of the year. I want to work on that.
Cool. All right. Good luck to you this year. Coach, back to you. Just to wrap things up, I've asked the kids to mention some of the swimmers on the team. Did they miss anyone? Anyone that's impressed you in the preseason?
I think they hit the the returners that are going to be pretty good. Liam Rich he's pretty good. He's a sophomore and he does club swim as well. So he's definitely got a pretty bright future ahead of him for swimming. We do have the Chardon Hilltoppers, our first meet of the season, so that's this Saturday. And it's huge. It's like an eye-opener for any of the kids that haven't been to a swim meet. I think they capped it at around 650 swimmers, so it's pretty impressive, and it's kind of shocking if you haven't been at
That's a lot of swimmers.
Yeah. So it's exciting, though. Shout out to my other my assistant coaches real quick before I forget.
Sure,
Teresa
absolutely.
Morrison, Dan Spring. Like Cole said, a lot of help, a lot of experience there, and couldn't do it without them for sure.
Especially when you have some younger swimmers, you need more eyeballs on there, more
That's
coaches
what's
to help
nice.
with technique.
The administration rented us 4 lanes this season, so that's twice as many as we had last year. So we have 4 lanes, 21 swimmers with the middle school. They swim side by side with us, so a lot of kids. It's exciting. It's exciting watching them grow. I know they touched on that too. From the first time they were in that pool to now, what a difference. I mean, they just grow so fast. Like their technique's getting better, and that's what will help them get faster. And that's all we really ask is, they got to work hard. It's hard work, and just try to get a little better each time you get in a pool and each time you race. And if you can set your goal as a PR for whatever race you're in, and you do PR, it's hard to PR, right? Once you get to that point where you pretty much gave it all you got, and the next time you try to beat that time, it's tough to do. It's just the little tiny details. So that's what they work on now, is the details and the diving off the blocks, the flip turns, breathing techniques, stuff like that. So,
right. Yeah. You mentioned the renting of lanes, and what did you get 2 in the past? You doubled it, so you got 4.
Yes.
And where do you practice?
We practice, pretty much all the local teams practice at the Spire.
Oh, so yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, I know a lot of the teams practice there, but that's one thing that's unique about swimming is most schools don't have their own pool, so when you're talking about practice, you're already limited, and then you get, X amount of swimmers that you're trying to throw into a lane or 2, and now 4, which is, great for you, I'm sure, but so that's a big challenge, and you look at football teams, you've got all kinds of open space to play. A pool, you can't practice out in the yard. So it's.
And you mentioned challenge. Well, probably one of the biggest challenges for the team is it's a 30-minute ride just to get to the Spire for us from Conneaut. So you talk about like inclement weather, snowy, icy roads. You know, some of these kids, it's a little scary. They're driving themselves to the Spire every night, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges.
Oh, absolutely. And, good stuff. I'm glad you were here. Glad you could make the trip. Welcome to the CVC, and best of luck to you this year.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
All right, that's the Conneaut Spartans swim team out here at CVC Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day. This is our third of 4 media days. We will close things out tomorrow at Berkshire. Up next, we've got the Wycliffe girls basketball team. Thanks, Conneaut. All right, so we are cruising along here, folks. We've got the Wycliffe girls basketball team, and then up next we've got the Edgewood swim team to close out our first session here at CVC Winter Sports Media Day. Wycliffe girls basketball joining us now, followed by the Edgewood swim team, and then we'll have a break until 5 o'clock because somebody here has to eat dinner and take a little bit of break. I like to talk, but talking for 9 hours straight kind of wears you out. But all right, so we've got the Wycliffe Blue Devils here, and Eliza, I'm gonna have to get a what do they call those? A restraining order on you. I feel like you're stalking me. You come to so many of these media day events. But all right, Coach, I'm gonna let you start things out. Just introduce yourself, introduce the ladies you brought with you, and then just give us your elevator pitch. What can we expect out of your squad this season?
Jason Mullen, this is my second year coaching. I have junior Gabby Irvin, and then Eliza Wills, senior, and then junior Ava Gabriel. Our team last year we were young. We didn't have a lot of returners. I was a new coach, and we kind of went into the year not knowing what we were going to do, and we came out 4-0 to start the year. The girls really bought into the season, bought into the team, bought into the culture, and we competed. We went 9-12, which isn't a winning record, but it was better than I think a lot of us thought we were going to do, better than I thought everyone thought. This year, a lot of the girls put in a lot of work in the off season, and then we got a couple people back. Eliza didn't play her junior year; she's back for her senior year. We have 2 other seniors; they're back for their senior years. They didn't play as juniors, and then we have a couple freshmen that are in. They're going to really compete for spots on the varsity level, and we're ready to go.
When you add a competitor like Eliza, even though she played previously, but she didn't play last year, you add her, it's like adding a 6'4" transfer. It just brings that competitiveness into the practice court and into your huddle. That's great.
Yeah, her not playing her junior year, but, being around her since she played in 7th grade, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore year, even though she didn't play last year, her maturity level, her leadership that she brings every single day. She was talking to me last week, sophomore year I didn't really box out. Now I'm boxing out. There's no reason that she didn't box out before. She just made that maturity level and that decision, like, I'm going to do it. Like, nothing that us coaches said to do. She just did it on her own, and she really sets the tone for everyone else.
That's awesome. All right, Coach, I'll come back to you after I talk to the girls. Let's start right to your right. For the folks at home, just go ahead and introduce yourself again, name, grade, and position. Flip that black switch on there. There you go.
Okay. I'm Gabby Irvin. I'm in 11th grade. And, wait, sorry, what was the question again?
name, grade, and position.
Oh, okay. I'm a post. Yeah.
Okay. So coming in, obviously, last year, Coach's first year, you were missing a couple people. Things got off to a good start, ended up 9-12, as Coach mentioned. How different have things been this preseason now that you've had a year under Coach and things are coming together? You added some experienced players and competitive players. How are things going in the preseason?
I think we already look a lot better than we did last preseason because like Coach said, we had barely any people and a young team. And then this year, I think with the new skill coming in and returning players and upcoming freshmen, I think that helps the team a lot.
I'm sure last year there was a lot of implementing game plans, offensive and defensive strategies. This year it's probably just fine-tuning them. Has that made things easier, and does everyone seem to be on the same page now?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a little rough at first because everyone had to come back together and bond again. But after we kept practicing, our team looks pretty good.
Don't give away any secrets, but offensively, what's the game plan? What are you guys trying to accomplish?
I think just going through our plays and doing what we do in practice. I think if we do what we do in practice, we'll do pretty good.
Give me a breakout player, somebody on the team that maybe nobody knows about right now, and it could be Eliza. I'm gonna break the rule. Normally, I'm like, you can't mention anyone at the table because we're gonna talk to them. But since Eliza didn't play last year and she's back, you can mention her if you want to. But give me a breakout player, someone that maybe nobody knows about right now, but after a couple games, everybody will know.
Yeah. So. I would say, I'm trying to think, because we have like a lot of different skill on the team, but I would say Amanda Peckley, who's a guard, she has been she's been, I don't know, I feel like she stands out a lot, like on the court, like you don't expect it, but like her power and like her speed and like her understanding of the game, like I think a lot of people will start talking about her.
All right, and what are your goals for this year, individual and team-wise?
Individually, I think I'm going to be working on my mindset because in previous seasons it's not really been there. So I think once I get like better with my mental aspect, then I'll be good. And then team-wise, I think just like coming together as a team and just working together, like I think that's about it. I think if we do that, we'll be good.
All right, sounds good. Good luck to you this year. All right, Eliza, grab that mic, and same thing for the folks at home, name, grade, and position.
I'm Eliza Wills. I'm a senior, and I'm a guard.
So last year you take a break from basketball. What led you back to the court?
I think that mental break I took last year, it pushed me to play again this year. I mean, clean slate, new coach, new people on the team. I mean, nobody's on the team anymore than the freshmen that I played with my sophomore year and the seniors right now that I played with my sophomore year. So, and I think the environment and the culture around this program's a lot better. I mean, we go into practice and it's a fun practice and we get things done. We go in, we work hard, we get out. There's no hostility. There's nothing in that environment to make you not want to be at practice.
How much rust did you have to shake off?
Oh, well, I get in the gym the first day after soccer ends, and I'm shooting the ball. I'm like, Coach Moulton, what the heck? We put so much work into my jump shot my sophomore year. Like, it was bad sophomore year. Me and Coach Moulton worked hard on fixing my form and everything, and I get in and I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, I still airball often in practice. I will say that, but it's getting there. It's getting a lot better, yeah.
Good. So settling in, and obviously you come from 2 years of really, really good soccer seasons, and how can you carry that momentum over to basketball?
I mean, not to admit to my family at home, but I am a very competitive person. So
I'm not surprised.
I don't like to lose. I mean, and I don't like when things don't look well and aren't laying out the way that I think it should be. So just me getting in there and my want to win and the fire I have to do the best I can and produce the best product I can on the court.
You told us your position, but now you have a role too. What's the role? What does Coach expect out of you on the court?
I think he just expects me to be another voice out on the court, to be a leader out there. And like, we all know Ava's our shooter. Everybody in the CVC knows Ava's our shooter, but he expects me to do my job, get our offense going, and get everybody into their spots that they should be in. And if somebody isn't there, direct them to where they should be. So, because his voice is gone by the first quarter.
What's the key to this team being successful this year?
I just think our work rate. We have really hard workers on our team. Nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes to lose. So, I mean, everybody coming off of their fall seasons, because most of our players did play a fall sport. Just the want to win. We have a desire and a determination to get out there and play the best basketball we can.
As you know from soccer, the CVC is a very competitive league. It's no different in girls basketball. How does that help to help your team raise its level of play? Does it help make you more intense, just knowing you're going to have to go out and compete every night?
I mean, yeah, going up against like Berkshire and Kirtland and these teams where they have players that play fall sports as well. We know these girls. We play against them, and we know their skill set. I mean, we've been playing against them since middle school, so it's just getting out there and doing. Everybody has to do their job. If one person doesn't do their job, somebody has to pick up the slack for them. We can't take days off.
What are your goals for this year, individual and team?
Individual,
probably my mindset like Gabby. I mean, when I airball in practice, it's not pretty. But also my assists. I think I have the potential to be like 5 on the all-time assists at Wycliffe. I mean, first, second, and third are pretty high, pretty big gaps. So probably not that.
And that's skipping a year.
Yeah.
Impressive. Well,
Top three. So I need Ava to score some points for me off of my for my passes.
I think that could be accommodated. So, all right, Ava, on to you. Same thing. Grab a mic, and for the folks at home, introduce yourself. Name, grade, and position.
I'm Ava Gabriel, and I'm a junior, and I'm a guard.
All right, so your teammates already let the cat out of the bag. You're the scorer. Everybody in the league knows you. You've had a lot of success already, so you're coming in. People are going to double team you, triple team you. How do you plan to, and don't give away your secrets, but how do you plan to deal with that extra attention you're going to see?
I mean, I have trust in my teammates that they're going to be able to take over a game if I'm being taken out of the equation. So, I mean, I trust them.
Does the offense flow through you, or are you just the beneficiary of good guard play?
I mean, I think all of us have the potential to score. So, I mean, it's just not out of me.
And I asked Eliza about the competition factor. Does that help you too, just knowing that there's some great teams you're going to compete against on a nightly basis?
Yeah, I love those games. I feel like that's where I'm at my best, and I feel like that's where the team is at its best. So I love those games, yeah.
Talk a little bit about the team's defense. Are you satisfied with where you're at so far in the preseason and what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to run some man, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes throughout the season. But
why is that such a challenge? Is that just an athleticism thing? Is that an effort thing? What makes that such a challenge?
I mean, usually you learn man when you're in middle school and stuff, and we really never got the chance to run it and stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to learn when you're in your third year of high school or whatever.
Right, just break off bad habits or whatever you've learned already. So, all right, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge this team has to overcome?
I think just being consistent. We had some good stretches last year, but then we just kind of fell into some holes. But I think if we're consistent this year, we'll be really good.
When good teams do that. A loss doesn't turn into 2, that kind of thing. So you guys started out 4-0. That was a good stretch. Then you had a bad stretch somewhere. What's going to help you avoid those bad stretches? Is that just a mindset thing? Is that just bouncing back from, a bad play and not letting it turn into 2?
I think just coming into every game wanting to win. I think just putting all of our effort into every single game will help us.
How different have practice been since this is Coach's second full year as head coach, and most of all the game plans are implemented, and now it's just fine-tuning them?
Yeah, I think our intensity is a lot better this year. I mean, having Eliza, she'll always pick us up even if we're not putting in our whole effort, so I think she's a good component.
Is she as competitive in practice as she leads on?
Yeah, she is. We go back at it in practice. We go back and forth. We do.
I imagine. So, all right. Give me a breakout player. Who you think's going to have a big year for Wycliffe and why?
I think freshman Jess Adams. She's going to be really good. She's a shooter. If we ever have to kick out the ball, she's always there.
And what are your goals, individual and team?
I want to move up without the ball a lot and just get some. If I'm ever face guarded, I want to be able to break away that player. I think team goal is just having a winning record this year. I can't remember the last time Wycliffe had a winning record, so.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach has it already. I was trying to think in my head, but he had it right there. So that was close. So, all right, Coach, back to you just to kind of recap. I always like to come back to the coaches just because you coach and practice and you're telling them what you want. You're trying to develop your culture and that type of thing. And now at a media day event, you kind of get to hear it in action. Are you pleased with what you're hearing?
Oh yeah, it's good to hear everything. It's been the culture is the biggest thing I think that we wanted to set early. This is the first back-to-back year that we've had the same middle school coaches and the same varsity head coach and the same JV coach in the last, I think, probably 10 years. My assistant coach, Taryn Ward, she's great. She's going to be a head coach one day. So
Beechwood? Where's she? Oh,
she's
South.
South,
yeah. I remember.
She's going to be a head coach one day, so I'm really thankful that she's here, and I'm going to really be upset when she eventually leaves. So I'm really taking it. I don't want to take it for granted. The girls love her. She puts in a lot of time. She's very knowledgeable. She's right there when I when I slack a little bit, she's right there ready to go. So it's really big for us to have that consistency and that culture that we set together.
I've asked the girls for some breakout players or other players that have been impressive. Did they miss anyone? Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Junior Liv Schneider. She's been really, really good. She's played the last 3 years. She got a lot of varsity time last year. She's a starter. She's a returning starter this year. Then we have senior Samara Young. She's physical. She's a really good volleyball player as well. She sets a tone early. She's very, very physical. On the offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. Offensively, she's getting there, but her defense and the physicality she brings. She was so physical in a middle school game one time that the coach almost threatened to leave because she was so physical. And they talked about Amanda Peckley. She's a sophomore. She puts in so much time in the off season, after season, after practice, before practice. She takes 100 shots or 1,000 shots a day, it feels like. She's always asking for help. She is one of our hardest workers. She's really athletic, really good softball player. And then, like Ava said, Jess Adams, she's a freshman. Just getting her kind of acclimated to high school basketball. Something Amanda Peckley didn't get last year. She was a freshman. She kind of got thrown into the fire. We're hoping that, with the experience that we have now, Jess can kind of sprinkle in those minutes and, not have to get thrown into that fire that we had to throw Amanda in last year.
All right, and lastly, define success for your team this year. I mean, some teams set out to win a state title or nothing, and, others want to win a district title, conference title. How are you going to define success?
Just competing in the league. Our division, we went 1-7 last year. We won a couple conference games if they weren't in our division. We beat Lutheran West twice, Trinity once, but we went 1-7 in the league. Our only win coming against Crestwood in the beginning, and then they beat us by 40 the next time. We haven't beat Kirtland in years. Berkshire, Grand Valley, we really owe them one or two, hopefully two. But our league has so many great players and great coaches. So we know that we're gonna have to come ready to go every single time we step on the court. We're gonna have to compete. We're gonna have to do the little things, and we gotta put the ball in the hoop, and we gotta defend.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck to you, and Coach, I appreciate you and the ladies coming out, and best of luck to you this season. All right, that was the Wycliffe girls basketball team here at Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day. Up next, we are due to have the Edgewood swim team, but I don't believe they have arrived yet. So we'll give them a couple of minutes here, and if not, we'll just shut this stream down. They're due at 3:20. They should have been here at 3:05, and it's 3:18. So I'm guessing we're not going to see the Edgewood swim team, but I will wait a couple of minutes for them, and then we're going to shut this stream down. I'm going to take my dinner break, and we will be back with the second session here at Kirtland High School at 5 o'clock. So as I said, we'll give Edgewood a couple of minutes, and then otherwise we'll just shut this one down and come back at 5 o'clock with session number 2. Okay, folks, it does not look like we're going to see the Edgewood swim team here, so we are going to shut down this first session of this 2023-2024 Chagrin Valley Conference Winter Sports Media Day live from Kirtland High School. We will be back with session number 2 at 5 o'clock, so be sure to visit www.chagrinvalleyconference.com for the link to that session's interviews, which will begin at 5 o'clock on CVC TV, which is presented by Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery.
Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries, and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www